And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live in the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere. And what are we going to get into? I don't even know. That video, that viral video featuring the quote-unquote baby mama, the self-proclaimed baby mama, appears to be halfway fake, halfway real. I can't tell anymore. It's to the point now where I understand why people don't believe anything. I mean, you could see a plane crash on CNN and you're like, fake, source. I understand now, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Also, did you guys see my video I did about the combat veteran, the alleged combat veteran from the Navy, who decided to, at 27 years old, become a woman, and then at 29 compete against little girls and defeat little girls in the skate tournament? I'm talking about the youngest participant in the skate tournament was 10 years old. You're a real big guy beating the 10-year-old little girl in the skate tournament because now you identify as a woman, a whole combat veteran. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Also, R. Kelly got sentenced 30 years in the penitentiary, which is more than the 20 years Ghislaine Maxwell got. And Biden is talking about, hey, you know, these high gas prices, that's necessary to maintain the liberal world order. We'll talk about all those things on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all for joining me yet again. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you enjoy what you are hearing thus far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. This is also a podcast. It'll be available in audio only form at 8 a.m. tomorrow Eastern time on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And of course, I got to give a big shout out to you guys first and foremost, but to my sponsors as well. Shout out to myself. You got to go to my website. I always talk about it. Of course, every single stream, anthonyblogan.com. That's my website. If you see any other website out there that says something about, oh, this is ABL's website, it's not mine. I got two websites, and I'll talk about them both in this particular stream. But the first one is anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. And on that website, for every video, I write an article with sources. So nobody can never say that I just made something up. If you ask me a question and I don't know the answer, I'll say, you know what? I don't know the answer. I don't really know. I don't have any data on that. I don't have any information on that. I just don't know. But if I do know, well, I'll be able to not only tell you what I know, but give you sources and resources for you to go fact check me. Please fact check me, and don't be like a Facebook fact checker. Don't be fact checking memes. I've had literal memes on Facebook fact check, things that are obviously just jokes, right? Oh, that's not right. That's a rip. It's like, come on. So you guys don't Facebook fact check me. Do some real fact checking, and your source to go to will be my website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, if you go to the contact page on my website, you'll see all my contact information. Of course, you'll see my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And that's something else. I have a fake Instagram floating around with like 1,000 or something followers. The easy way to just figure out if that's my Instagram or not is go to my website. And if that particular account is not there, then it's not mine. All my social media accounts are listed on my website, as well as my email address and my snail mail address. Thank you guys for sending me tips and whatnot for videos. I do use some of those tips for my videos occasionally. I get a lot of emails, so I don't usually respond, but I do read a lot of your email. If I don't read the entire thing, I'm gonna skim through it a little bit. So if you have any kind of tip, just go ahead and shoot it straight to me. In the first, in the headline of the actual email, and also like in the first paragraph or two, put it right there so I can get to it and then get the information out there to the general public. But again, AnthonyBLogan.com. Also go to the merch website, my other official website, ABLmerch.com. That is ABLmerch.com. We have hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more on the site. So check it out, ABLmerch.com. Also, Go to patriotpost.us. A lot of you guys always ask me about good sources and news and information aside from me, so you wouldn't be able to fact check other places. You may have different, like a catalog, I guess you would say, a Rolodex for the old school term of places you'll go to get information. It's not just one place. I'm the same way. I go everywhere. I have a paid subscription to New York Times and Washington Post. Imagine that. Is it because I find their journalism riveting and it's just fantastic? No, it's because I have to be able to find all sources. I got liberal sources, conservative sources. I got things they don't want you to see because I had it behind the paywall. I got different ways of being able to get information. And patriotpost.us is one of those ways. And they're my friends. They're my sponsors. So go ahead and check them out in the description box below, patriotpost.us. And of course, go to bhedesigns.com. They make the beautiful handmade wooden flags that are right behind me. Go ahead, check them out. All my links I mentioned will be in the description. If you're watching me on Instagram right now, there should be, or not Instagram, pardon me. If you're listening to me on the audio only version, there should be some kind of box there with information in it. Click right there somewhere in the box and all these links shall pop up. But the easiest thing to remember is my name, AnthonyBLogan.com. Matter of fact, if you just search my name on Google, all my stuff will come up. My social media accounts, everything might come up. Some things might come up that's not really real. You know, the net worth thing, I don't know what that's all about. Some of those things are kind of close, but sometimes they're not. But that's a rabbit hole I'm not going to go down right now, so I digress. The whole point is, find me on my website. That's probably the best way. And check the links in the description and also in the bio in my Instagram and everywhere else. And also, if you're listening to audio only, somewhere in some kind of description that you have all my information right there. But let's go ahead and get straight to these videos. I got quite a few clips for you guys. I got quite a few clips. I'll get to those a little bit later. I think I'm going to start with, where do I want to start? I kind of want to start with the fake viral video because I think after this, I think I'm done with it. After this, I'm done with it. And I see similar videos to this where, how can I explain? So it'd be a situation that's kind of crafted to get conversation going, which kind of helps it become viral. And, you know, because the reason why it becomes viral is because everybody's talking about it. What would you do? What would you not do? You know, the whole video about the McDonald's and the baby mama, all this, you know, the real ghetto story of the guy going to the house with food just for his child and not for her other kids. It's not his. That became a whole big thing. Well, it turns out that the person who posted it, she is a TikToker with like, I think almost like 200,000 followers or more now, because after that video, her followers jumped up, but she already had followers. She is a baby mama TikToker. Now, let me explain what I'm talking about. So basically, what she does is she makes content similar to the video that we saw. Okay? That's kind of what it is. Now, it was very confusing. Matter of fact, I'll pull it up right quick. And this is going to be a lesson, not even necessarily about that whole baby mama, baby daddy thing, that whole ghetto story. This is more about things you see on the internet. Sometimes you have to make sure that it's legitimate. Even though the video was not legitimate, it didn't really matter for my purposes because a lot of people were talking about it and they were agreeing with what she was saying. So that was kind of a teachable moment, kind of a social issue type of moment. Just kind of a conversation. It was kind of an internet internet discussion that I found myself in. But to get back to her, here is this person's page. So this is the woman right here. Here's a response video. It has 3.1 million views on TikTok. This is TikTok right here. I talk about TikTok a little bit. Right after this, I talk about TikTok specifically as a platform. But you see, there's baby mama videos, right? She has 202,000 followers, 2.3 million likes. All right. Now, here's a skit. One of them says, hold on, how different baby mamas drop off the baby. So you know how it'd be like, okay, 3 different kind of coworkers, the loud one, the introverted. It's like that. That kind of content is on her thing. Another one says different types of drunk girls. And these have a lot of views on them, okay? Almost 1 million views on the baby mama video, 300,000, 350,000 on the drunk girl video. Now, there was something that came out where they said that this guy right here in the video that I'm hovering over on the far right, they said that this was like her man. I'll go ahead and put it on the big screen. They said that this guy, hold on, let me go ahead and, so that's her right there. And they said that this guy was the guy in the video with the McDonald's. You couldn't see him because his face was blurred out. Now, I don't know if that's him or not, but this guy right here has, how many? He has 1.8 million followers on TikTok. So these are like TikTokers. These are, you know, actors here. You understand what I'm saying? But the content of the video was still a discussion piece. And it was some real PTSD going on. It really was. Yeah, I mean, now I'm going to say this. I got to say this part right here. I still don't know if the particular video that we all saw was fake. Let me explain. Here's what could have happened. That could have been the real video that she put out before she started doing these kind of content like Kinds, baby mamas. That could have been the video she put it out, and she realized she got some attention with it. So as a result, she started putting out skits and becoming a TikToker. That could have happened, or it could have been the whole skit. I think it was an old video because when she reposted it on her Instagram recently, it wasn't like she had it in the tuck. She had to kind of grab it from her TikTok. So I don't really know. Long story short, you have some actors here, and there's quite a few videos like that on the internet. And usually I'm able to spot them pretty well. Usually I spot them pretty well. I've seen quite a few videos from people that I know are actors, like in Hollywood, people that have a whole IMDb page, okay? And they'll go viral on Facebook, they'll go viral on Instagram. People are in the comments having real conversation. I'm like, hey, don't you know that so-and-so, that's an actor, that this is a movie? I've seen actual, and you know what? I'm going to say this. I think at a certain point, my age is showing and I have an advantage. I'll explain. Sometimes you'll see scenes from movies, like actual movies that came out in the theater that you watch with popcorn, and a clip of the movie will just be on Instagram floating around, and people are like, oh, that's a crazy scenario. What happened there? Where was this? When was this? Not even knowing it's a whole movie. So I don't know. Sometimes the lines between what's real and what's not real gets blurred on the internets. You know, that's just kind of what that is. But at the end of the day, that skit that we saw, it was based in reality. It sure was. Just like I saw a skit from Baby Boy, the movie with Tyrese and who else is in that? Ving Rhames, Snoop Dogg. I saw a clip from that today, and people were in the comments saying, hey, what movie is this? It's like, wow, y'all, you never seen the movie before? But anyway, that the scenario was real. The scenario was when Snoop Dogg called who is that? What's her name? Hustle and Flow. Oh, Taraji P. Henson. Snoop Dogg called Taraji P. Henson from jail, and Tyrese answers, and they get into an argument. That right there is a real scenario, but it is a movie. So you could talk about the real scenario, but keep in mind that it's not, that actual scene is not real. So yeah, Baby Doll says, fake or real, it highlighted that many people think that's how things should be. Correct, exactly. Now, I'm going to play the follow-up video in case you haven't seen it. And people were also agreeing with this, which is why you still have the conversation going on. And you know what? It's kind of toxic mentality between baby mama, baby daddy, child's father, you know, separated, divorced, blended. It's just so much going on that people have all kind of things they believe in their mind that is really kind of damaging. It damages the children, really, at the end of the day. You know, I've seen some real videos that are much worse than the whole McDonald's kerfuffle. I saw one video today. Shout out to the lead attorney. Well, yesterday I was watching that with him, where there was a custody situation where I think it might have been a drop off. You know how that goes. You know, dad gets the kids for a while, brings them back to the mom in the parking lot. You know the whole thing. So dad drops the kids off, his two little boys, and the mom is behind his car, holding the boys like this. So the father can't leave because she's asking him about what she did to the boys. Now, the father gave the boys a haircut. Now, because of the haircut, she's preventing him from leaving. Now it's a whole big dispute. The mother's mom is there. She's joining in on it, cussing them out, threatening them. Those kind of videos, those kind of scenarios are dead real. But I'll play a little bit of this. I promise. Did you see that video back up? One hope you saw that video as well. That video was nuts. Oh my goodness. You talking about PTSD. Again, I've not gone through that. I'm the only child. But I've definitely seen that. Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen it happen in school when parents have come to school. Oh, I've seen a little bit of everything. It's crazy. Okay. Hold on. Let me go ahead and play this right quick because it's right there. And I'm gonna play it. I'll talk about it briefly. Then I'm gonna move on, and I'll talk about TikTok as a platform next, because they want to ban TikTok, which was a thing that Trump was trying to do during his time in office. He was ultimately unsuccessful, but I think they may go ahead and pull that trigger. After we got the wool pull over our eyes here, they might go ahead and pull that trigger. But not because you got all these fake videos floating around, but because of some real reasons. But I'll get to that in a minute.
So the whole world is basically bashing me right now because I'm the baby mama who was upset at her baby daddy because he only decided to give his child.
So now, if this was real, which we know that it's probably not. If this was real, let's get a little bit of background. So the mother has 4 children. She did not have any food in the house, or she did not have her food stamps get refreshed yet. The father brings food for his child because he probably knows that if he doesn't bring food for his child, then his kid won't eat because she doesn't have any food in the house. But yet we see this lace front wig. Yes, it is a wig. I'm seeing a line of demarcation. I'm seeing eyebrows done, these big crazy lashes. And can I just say something for a second, please? Just for a second. I mean, now look, I'm not Mr. Beautiful over here. I'm not the definition of beauty in the man. Not necessarily. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not just trying to, but the lashes, these caterpillars, I don't know, bat wings, hang gliders, awnings. Can we please retire those? Can we stop? You can't even, it's to the point where your eyes are open, but the eyelashes are making your eyes closed. Can we stop that? Just saying. But anyway, lace front wig, that's a big expense. Your eyebrows are done. You got these big crazy lashes. You got lipstick, makeup, lip gloss, nails. You're in the car and your cell phone works. And again, this is most likely fake, but I've seen this. I have seen this literally. People got all this stuff on, but don't have no food in the house. It's like, where your priorities at? Matter of fact, I got a story. Hold on, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back. I got a story. So I won't name any names or say where this is. So it'll be vague enough. The person that told me the story will know what I'm talking about, but nobody else will. Now, I knew a person that worked for a power company, and they would often do with people that had not paid their bills and their power got cut off. Well, one time my family came up to the actual office where this person works, and they were trying to finagle the way to get their power back on. Oh, we didn't have it. We don't have the money. It's Christmas time. How could you do this, all this, that, and the third? And the person, I'm not quite sure if they said it to him or if they thought it to themselves, but they just observed the family. They observed the family. It's the mom, dad. Yes, mom and dad and 2 kids. Now, the whole family had on a new pair of Jordans. The mom, the dad, the 2 kids all had on fresh Jordans. Now, y'all know how much Jordans cost? I don't know, but when I was a boy, when Jordans were a thing I cared about, Jordans, you could be like $200 for a pair of Jordans. $125, $150, $200 for a pair of Jordans. So let's just say each pair costs $150, okay? That's $600 on shoes. The power bill can't cost that much. Where do you live at? Do you live in a mansion? The power bill can't cost that much. The money for the bill is right there on your feet. The money for your food is right there on your feet. The money for your rent is right there on your feet. I saw that one time in person with my own two eyes in a grocery store. So I'm in a grocery store. This is years ago when I was in Virginia. At the time, I'm broke. I have no money, but I have enough to be able to get like, I say $20 of food. I'm in there getting chicken breast, brown rice, and some broccoli. And I'm trying to make that stretch for a while. I have these on with no socks. It's the summertime. I saw this dude in there with a white t-shirt on, a regular pair, some pants, a brand new pair of Jordans, fresh, crispy. I'm talking about he just got them that day. Now, he's in there counting change to buy one cigarillo. So you know what that means. You're spending your money on drugs and shoes. Where your food at, though? He was super skinny. You know, I'm not, super big. But compared to me, this guy was looking like, but in general, the guy was super skinny. You're talking about maybe like 125 pounds at 6 foot tall. It's like, where are your priorities at? That's the moral of the story is we have no priorities a lot of times in these urban inner city areas. You understand? Where are your priorities at? How about buying some food that'll keep you well? You're buying drugs and shoes, but you in the store counting out change. If you're going to be a dope fiend, at least have money, but they don't think dope fiends don't think like that. But I digress. And don't nobody get triggered. Oh, it was just weed. Listen to what I'm saying to you. If you're counting change in the store to buy one cigarillo, that's a dope fiend. Obviously, you have more pressing needs than a cigarillo. Obviously. And the Jordans on top of that, you're just a fool. Who cares about your Jordans when you living in just complete abject poverty? Why does it even matter? If a person comes up to you and was like, hey man, you whack, you don't have no Jordans. It's like, okay, so what if I don't have, so what if I don't have any Jordans? I have about 1,000 pet roaches and they all fly around my crib. Why do I care about Jordans? Like real talk. You're taking your Jordans off in the gym and roaches come out. That's not the wave. But anyway, I'll go back to this right here.
McDonald's and not the rest of my other 3 kids. I have 4 kids. You knew the situation when you dated me. Our child is the youngest child. So keep that in mind before y'all make me the villain. That means all my other kids knew him. He was.
Now, I'm going to say this, though. Here's a teaching moment. This is an Uncle ABL moment because there's a lot of young men out there that are out here just kind of doing things, not really knowing what they're doing. If you run into a young lady and she tickles your fancy, you like her, she does everything you wanted to do, she's cool. But the problem is she has 3 kids already, probably by 3 different men. You need to avoid that situation. You think you're special? You think you're going to be the guy to come in and rescue the young lady, damsel in distress? You're going to come save the day and be the good man? No. You will be number 4, and you won't be with her for long. A year or 2, maybe. And then once it's over with, you're going to have drama. And if you are the good guy and trying to do things for the woman, which your other fathers didn't, you'll be expected to do it in perpetuity, whether you with her or not. Now, is it right? No, it's not. But you got to be able to understand who you're getting with from the beginning. You have to understand that. You can't just enjoy her and just ignore the kids. Even if you leave her and you come around for your other kid, it's going to be constant drama because she wants you to help with the other kids. Although you're not even with her, it don't matter. You got it. You're responsible. You're a good guy. You're the good man. So I know we're not together anymore, but still come take care of the kids. That's the mentality they have. Is it right? No. But you got to be able to recognize it from the beginning. Now, I'm not saying that everybody that has children that a single mom will do that to you. But she has 3 kids by 3 men, never been married, and here you are, number 4, not married. Come on, it's a pattern at a certain point, right? It's a pattern. And just use your brain, especially if you got all little kids. Okay, you got 1 kid that's 8, 1 that's 6, 1 that's 5 by 3 men. That right there is a red flag for you. That's unstable. Now, if they were all by the same guy, if she was married, that's different. Okay, I understand. But you out there with 3 guys, you setting yourself, you will have a problem. Basically, you're setting your own stuff up for failure. Okay, somebody said it's going to be hell on earth. It's going to be, but you got to be to recognize that. You can't just think you're going to be some kind of rescue ranger. You know, that's like people that are talking about global warming, acting like buying a paper straw will impact the sun in some kind of way. The sun is greater than all of us. It's arrogant to think that you're going to be able to change something like that. You can't change the Earth's climate by buying a paper straw. Same way you cannot change this woman by trying to be some kind of rescue ranger at the tail end of her looks kind of being up to par a little bit.
Buying the McDonald's when we were together, my kids have to go through a transition of our breakup as well. Like, yeah, me and you broke up, but my kids got to feel it too. So now my kids have to see only one of their siblings get McDonald's and not the rest of them. And they know it's coming from you because, of course, like me and you used to be together. They used to see you. You used to do it for them. But now you don't want to do that for them.
Yeah, exactly. But you see the mentality, though. This is a skit, I believe, but this is just coming straight from her heart. You could tell when somebody's doing the skit. Like, I've watched her skits, and they're kind of corny. You could tell they're skits. This right here may not necessarily be a real scenario, but it's how she feels. It's how she feels because this same feeling has been echoed by a lot of people, men and women, which is crazy, but that's what they think.
Anymore. Like, to me, that's petty. That's petty. Like, it's not fair. Like, you're not finna give one child McDonald's and not all the other kids McDonald's. Like, I'm not.
Oh, you're right about that. There's a Nate Scott. I have a headache as well listening to this. I'm trying to get through it, and then I'm going to just get off it and move on.
Going, and then on top of that, you mean to tell me you can dib and dab and want to do it sometimes, but yet you can't feed all my other kids McDonald's, though? See, that's the ultimate mistake right there. That's the ultimate mistake. Young men, listen to me. If you made a mistake, you have a baby mama, child's mother, ex-wife, whatever it is, and you have drama, don't try to go back and try to still get with her physically. Leave her alone. You can't just think that, oh, well, she loved me. No. She's going to expect things from you for doing that, for being around her, showing her affection, and showing that physical attention. She gonna want something from you from that. It ain't gonna be for free. And we're seeing what it is right here. See, the entitlement, you see her face right there. That right there came straight from her heart. Straight from the heart. I know it because I've met girls just like that. Just like that. No difference. The same talking, the same speech pattern, talking points, hand gestures. Look at this. Do not try to go back and sleep with her after you and them broke up and you done got a baby and y'all try to co-parent. Don't do it. If y'all not together, you ain't trying to reconcile and take care of the other kids too and be the stepdaddy, don't do it. That little detail right there, if it's true, and if the story is true, which is not, but if the story was true and that detail was true, then the whole thing would be that guy's fault because you still confusing her a little bit. It's like, hey, you coming over here still trying to get some, but then you want to be petty. But then you want to just do, he'd be right if he was just not contacting her except for to talk to his son, not trying to deal with her at all, just coming over there, dropping the food off, going about his business. So yeah, that's what that is. I'll leave that right there. If you guys want to find her, I mean, it's available. At this point, it's pretty much everywhere. I think it's on my website on an article for that. But that is a TikTok video. She is a TikToker, and they want to now talk about banning TikTok again. I feel like every few months they talk about banning TikTok, but they should do it.
Either they're going to do it or don't do it. Okay. And the funny part is that TikTok is actually banned in China. It's a Chinese app, but it's actually banned in China. Did you know that? Because TikTok is for Western audiences. See, they'll push Western garbage and filth on us. They'll push propaganda on us from China. They'll constantly attack the U.S. They'll push out anti-American propaganda on TikTok and pro-China propaganda. They'll say everything wrong with America, but nothing wrong with China. Okay, that's what they do on TikTok. The American version, that's what they do. Or the quote-unquote Western version. TikTok in China is an app called Douyin. Douyin is not TikTok. It's the same technology. It's the same function, but it's not the same app. They don't see what we see on Douyin and vice versa. We don't see Douyin stuff unless it gets reposted to American TikTok or to Western TikTok. So, people talking about, oh, that's wrong. I might even hear like it's racist to ban TikTok because it comes from China, but China bans TikTok. They don't care. They don't have Western applications readily available. You could get TikTok as far as the American version in China, but you got to get a VPN. And last I heard, it was illegal to have a VPN. You can go to jail for having a VPN in China. And if you're living in the Xinjiang province with the Uyghurs, and you got a VPN, or you're going straight to the penitentiary, big rocks, little rocks, instantly disappeared. The re-education camps, quote unquote. What's that code for? Like an Auschwitz? They have those right now in 2022. Yes, they do. They don't really care. But so let me see if I can find an article right quick about the TikTok ban. Okay, so now they said they're going to change. Hold on. TikTok commits to changes to avoid App Store ban. So yeah, they were seriously talking about banning it, but it's always a topic that comes up. They did that under the Trump administration, talking about banning TikTok. They're doing it again now. And the reason is because of security concerns. TikTok is a Chinese app, although people in China don't have direct access to it, but the Chinese government does. And all your data on there, they're going to store that on a server that the CCP will have access to. So if you don't want your data to be accessed by the Chinese Communist Party, then you might not want to have TikTok. So they're trying to ban it for that reason. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not just an anti-China person and just pro-America no matter what. I am a America first person in general, but I can recognize our flaws. For example, I know that social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they also are storing our data. They're coming through our data. We have public data, but they also have certain things they know about us. They have certain things that they know about us that we can't necessarily glean ourselves from our side. You understand? Basically, what I'm trying to say is they have ways of being able to analyze our data that we don't really understand how to do. And the government has that. Also, sometimes if you, beyond social media accounts, beyond social media apps, your phone, how secure is your phone really? Remember that case a while back with, I think it might have been Tim Cook from Apple, or it might have been still when Steve Jobs was living, where the government were trying to crack an iPhone that had encryption because of some criminal case. And that became a real thing because if they allowed a back door into cracking the encryption, then that could cause serious security concerns for the phone in general. If the government can crack it, then why can't anybody else? And if the government can crack it, who's going to crack it in the government? I mean, you have some rogue actors in the government right now. We see what's going on with January 6th and that whole kerfuffle. People get on stage and lie with a straight face as in the federal government. We see the IRS and what they did a couple years ago, targeting conservative groups. We see what those in power on the federal government level do to American citizens. So Apple was kind of in a weird place. Now, I don't know exactly Bob K. MIT, the quote unquote leaked list of gun owners in California. Okay, how did that happen? Government had control, and they were like, hey, let's just do this. Talking about the accident. Okay, you had a whole website with a database on it released to the public. That right there was intimidation, nothing more, nothing less. If I get a gun, if I get a concealed carry permit, they'll dox me. That's what that said. At any point in time, they could dox me, right? Oh, the DOJ can't trust them. The federales can't trust them. You know, speaking of federales, before I get back to TikTok, so the Fed Front, also known as the Patriot Front, you know, I've done a video about them, a video or two about them. They are purported to be a white supremacist group, and I think the last time we saw them, they were at that Pride march in Iowa. Really random place. Like, why would you go to Iowa? And like that don't make any sense to me. I would think you would go to like New York City, you know, a high vis place, right? You wouldn't go to Iowa. But anyway, so remember this right here? Nah, this was a different one. Hold on. This was a different one. This was when they went to something else. I forget what this was. But look at these guys. I mean, come on. You got high and tights. Everybody's in shape. Everybody got on the same Garmin watch. It's like, man, y'all are very conspicuous. If you were a sore thumb, you'd be big as the sun. That thing is sticking straight on out. I mean, come on. What in the world's going on? So yeah, that was one. But then there was another one recently with the Patriot Front at Iowa. Hold on, let me see. Let me try to find that right quick. And was it Iowa or Idaho? I forget where it was. But I'm gonna find it because I'm determined to find it. Okay. Oh, here we go. Idaho. Pardon me. It was not Iowa. It was Idaho. So here are these guys. I got a couple pictures right quick. Well, I think this will do. Hold on one second. Let's go ahead and zoom in. So, pardon the cursing, but it says Holy S Patriot Front detained. Now, these guys, I mean, the khakis, it gives me the whole. Remember the whole thing with Glenn Youngkin when they went to his when they went to his tour bus in Charlottesville? Just really silly. It was like really diverse. Had a black guy, a white woman. It's like, man, if y'all don't stop. But it was a similar deal. They had on khakis and they tiki torches. They had those torches in the rain. It's like, look, sir, it's pouring down raining. Your torch can't get lit. What are you doing? But then that's another shout out these guys. Again, when I see a bunch of guys that are like in shape, and I'm not saying that you're automatically a Fed group if the guys are in shape, but come on, there's got to be one beer drinker in the crowd. I need one potbelly guy in the crowd. Okay, I've been to plenty of gun stores and things like that, allegedly, and you're gonna see a couple potbelly guys in there. So you mean to tell me that all these guys are fit, like they about to go to war, like they just came back from boot camp, from Paris Island to a Pride rally in Idaho? I mean, come on, let's just stop playing games. But anyway, that was at a Pride rally earlier, and then they got found again recently at some kind of event. I don't even know where this was. You guys, if you know where it is, let me know. Hold on. I have the video. Oh, so they were in Boston this time. They were in Boston, and I have video of these guys marching. Let's check that out right quick. Yeah, and they gotta have a beard. That's right, Akuma. Potbelly with a beard. That's right. Dad bods, potbelly with a beard. You're talking about Grill Master. If I don't see any Grill Master bods in the group, and these guys would be the ones that shoot your head clean off, you know, I'll tell you what, boy, boom. Your head be rolling down the street. But anyway, so here are these guys in Boston. So, I mean, am I watching a military parade, or am I watching some quote unquote white supremacist group march? I mean, I can't really tell. So I don't know. Now, some guys are telling me, oh, these guys are legit ABL. These guys are legit. if they are legit, quote unquote legit, I guarantee you there's feds in there. Any kind of group like that in 2022, there's going to be feds. It's like if you decide to become a Klan member right now in 2022, you're going to be talking to some federales right away. They will be your recruiters. Ain't nobody just out there handing out leaflets to join the Klan. Like, nah, if you get a leaflet, it's from the feds. Point blank, period. Yeah, that was in Boston. Yes. Somebody said Quantico graduation ceremony. Exactly. 100% correct. The 2022 Quantico graduating class, that's it right there. Okay, and then they posed for a picture. Hold on. I have the picture here somewhere. Oh, there we are. I mean, come on. You're talking about a graduating class photo. Look at this. They just came from graduation, and then they went to this event right here. I'm just not really believing it. You know, I could be wrong. You know, I'm not an infallible person. I'm just, sometimes I have feelings about things. I have a hunch. I don't think these guys are who they say they are. They say they are trying to reclaim white identity in the West or something like that. Y'all don't get me to lying. But they are labeled as a white supremacist group. But I think that most of these guys, if not all, are feds. Fed finals, exactly. Cap and gown. Yeah, and you know what? People like that were also at January 6th, in my humble opinion. It's a way to be, what somebody said, they said it, agent provocateur. Yep, go in there and just start stuff, and then people that are kind of silly and soft-minded, they'll just follow behind them because they caught up in the moment. They're caught up in the moment, not realizing that they about to go straight to the penitentiary. Big rocks, little rocks, because this has all been set up already. It's all been set up for you to fall into the trap. It's like being entrapped. It's entrapment, but I guess entrapment doesn't really fly here because of the political overtones. If you join a white supremacist group or a group that's called a white supremacist group in 2022, you're going to the penitentiary. Okay, it's like trying to sell crack in Giuliani's New York City in Times Square. You're going to the penitentiary. Now, you can sell whatever you want to. Now in New York City, you can sell fentanyl. You can sell fentanyl. You can sell cocaine, whatever you want to do, and it's fine, which is destroying the city, but that's a different story, and I digress. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. So TikTok wants to change to avoid a U.S. ban. Let me see what they say that they're going to change right quick, and then we'll move on to the next topic. And thank y'all again for being here. So the commissioner called TikTok a sophisticated surveillance tool, saying that the app serves as a data gathering tool for Chinese authorities. Exactly. Quote, it is clear that TikTok poses an unacceptable national security risk due to its extensive data harvesting being combined with Beijing's apparently unchecked access to the sensitive data, FCC Commissioner Brendan Carr wrote in a letter addressed to Apple and Google. In its response today, ByteDance, which is the parent company, if I'm not mistaken, to TikTok, ByteDance confirmed that some employees do need, quote, have access to TikTok U.S. user data. It went on to clarify, however, that these employees are, quote, subject to a series of robust cybersecurity controls and authorization approval protocols overseen by our U.S.-based security team. Oh, sure. If you have, like, okay, I don't want to read the rest of that. The whole thing that TikTok did back when I think Trump was trying to ban it, it may have been before this. Maybe they did this or they just talked about it during that time. So you have different divisions within TikTok, well, within ByteDance, and you have a division that controls Douyin, the Chinese version of TikTok, and then also the US-based TikTok, where we get all the Western trash at. So they're trying to say these two places aren't really linked. The Douyin, the Chinese Communist Party, and the American side. But that's not really true. They were trying to sell TikTok to Microsoft. It's like, man, please, y'all ain't gonna sell. All that's happening is they just have a smokescreen of, oh, well, it's a U.S. team. They're doing that. They handle that. It's not China. It's BS. China will have access to all that data because no company that exists in China can flourish without having the Chinese Communist Party be part of it directly. I'm talking about having government officials on the board of your company. So it's just all BS. It's just It's just what you gonna say? It's PR talk. It's PR talk. They've been saying the same thing for years, but yet the U.S. still says, let's go ahead and ban you because you are a highly sophisticated surveillance tool. And aside from the surveillance, it's also a way to poison the minds of the youth. I mean, it's crazy. TikTok is a mess. It's some good content on there, but at the same time, there's some really bad stuff on that particular platform. Social media in general can be a gift and a curse. You can learn a lot. You can also be brainwashed. Depends upon who you are, where you are in your life, and what you're really consuming. That's kind of what that is. But the main thing about TikTok is that it is a Chinese company. At the end of the day, they can say how the U.S. version is not controlled by China. That's BS. That's complete nonsense. They know that. We know that. But I'll move right along. And we get to the next topic here. Oh, so the combat veteran. Did you guys see this? The combat veteran that decided he wanted to, or they, she, whatever the pronouns are. I got to back up a little bit. So a 29-year-old Navy veteran, combat veteran, spent the majority of her life as a man. This person was born as a man, biological man, by the name of Richard Batres. And in the past 2 years, this person got on hormones and now identifies as transgender. He has not had the nip and tuck procedure, if you catch my drift. He has had hormones and now identifies as a woman. Now, part of his transition process was to go out there and pursue a career in skateboarding or pursue like a hobby in skateboarding. This person went to a tournament. It might have been in New York City somewhere, I think. The tournament, it did invite adults to compete against children, but it was a women's tournament. So this person is a 29-year-old male, became quote unquote a woman 2 years ago by taking hormones, and defeated mostly little kids, little girls in the tournament. I think the youngest girl he beat was 10 years old. He beat a 13-year-old for second place. These are all girls that he beat. Sir, you're almost 30 years old. Not only are you almost 30 years old, you're a combat veteran. You are married to a woman and you had 3 kids. How is that fair? And they did an interview talking about, well, do you see the advantage you have? It's like, nah, I'm not really buff like that. Oh, and the craziest part was when he was saying we should have weight classes. Like how, so it's like if you're 135 pounds as a man, that is night and day from that same weight on a woman. It's night and day. It is not anywhere near the same. Who's the equivalent to Floyd Mayweather as a woman? Tell me that. I will wait. There is none. There is none. I mean, it was crazy, man. Like, hold on. I'll pull it up right quick because you haven't seen it. It's on the website, of course, anthonyblogan.com. So the headline I wrote for it was crazy. Oh, and we have pictures in case you haven't seen this person. All right. So you see right here, my headline I wrote, 29-year-old Navy combat vet trans woman. Say that 5 times fast. 29-year-old Navy combat vet trans woman defeats 13-year-old girl in skate tournament. Okay. Because the girl that came in second was 13 years old. Shout out to Shiloh. So you see this person right here on their bike. Hold on. Let me get it over there. So you see them on their bike with their kids on the back when they still identify as a male. And then that's them right now identifying as female with the skateboard. Now, I don't even know what to say about that, but that's crazy. That is completely nuts. Pun intended or no pun intended. So here's the interview. I'm gonna play the whole thing, of course. This will be in the description if you really want to see it.
I find that funny because that's like what I'm getting beat up about the most is like you're beating little kids and little girls, and I'm just like, I didn't intend to do that. Like This was the first competition that I've been to that I actually wanted to win. It makes me really happy to see that there's kids that young that are in competitions and they're shredding and even placing in the high ranks. So that's like incredible. To me, that's not any reason to like not win a competition or something. Like I'm not gonna go there and be like, oh, I'll go easy on them because they're kids. This skill level's again really determined by your determination, your tenacity to just like put yourself on top and through these obstacles. It has nothing to do with your age.
Do you think that you have a physical
Like your skeleton, your muscle structure, all of that you've had. You were in the military. You were a combat. Okay, look. All right, check it out. You're above fitness for the normies. You like, okay, if you are like a normie person, you're still above the average fitness level because you were in the military and you were a combat. You had to pass certain tests. Now, I understand you've not been in the military for a while, suppose. You've been on hormones or whatever. Some of that strength is gone. Muscle tone is diminished, but still, I mean, come on. You still have it there. You still have it. And at the end of the day, you were born as an XY male. That right there, you can't, that advantage, even if you weren't in the military, even if you weren't a combat veteran, even if you weren't fit and more fit than the average person before you became, quote unquote, a woman, even if not for that, that advantage alone, the XY chromosomes gives you an advantage.
advantage?
Okay.
I mean, what is it hard to answer? Like I was getting frustrated by this person. They were frustrating me because first of all, the giggling was wearing me out. The giggling was killing me softly. And then this little blank stare was also killing me softly.
I don't think so. Mostly because I mean, I don't really understand what that means besides like someone that's stronger. You know, like you would assume that a big man is stronger than a big woman. So, but me, I'm like, look at me. I'm not like buff or anything, you know? I don't work out really. I just skateboard. I mean, just silly. You know what? I'm gonna pause it right there. I'm gonna move right along. I think here's a hot take. Just my humble opinion. Maybe I'm wrong because you guys know I could be wrong and I'll have no problem admitting that I'm wrong. But I think that some of these people, like Richie Trace, aka Richard Bottrace, like Leah Thomas, aka William Thomas, I think that they are being put up to do these things to challenge women's sports and to push forward the trans agenda, not even the LGBT. They want to push forward just the T agenda. All right, I'm gonna go into the skateboarding tournament. It's little kids competing, so I'll win because I'm a male biologically. Same thing with Leah Thomas. Okay, I know I swam for 3 years as a man on UPenn, but on my very last year, I'm going to go become a woman and I'm gonna break all the records. So it's gonna force courts and society to look at it to see where we actually stand, right? Oh, that jaw, hey, that jaw, Ewok 31, that jaw right there is crazy. That jawline, I mean, good grief. That right there, you're talking about a jaw steel. If you get punched in you get punched in that jaw, he ain't going nowhere. He can get rocked on Mike Tyson. He might stumble, but he ain't gonna fall. You understand what I'm saying? That jaw sharp as a glass, diamond sharp. But anyway, I digress. The whole point is, I feel like they're being put up to this to challenge the norms of society to make things go one way or the other. Because they feel like right now is the time to strike. They got a lot of ammunition on their side. They have big corporations on their side. So they feel like they want to go ahead and strike right now. They got a lot of big name stars out there. You got little kids becoming transgender like Dwayne Wade's son. I saw Dwayne Wade's son recently. I almost started crying. I was like, man, it's terrible what they're doing to that boy. He's still growing. He gonna mess around and be 6'8" and regret his decision to go down that quote unquote trans road. Because sometimes as kids, you go through things. You might be going through a phase. You know, so like I've known adults that go through phases.
So, of course, you're going to have kids that go through phases, right? So maybe when you're 12 years old, you're going through a thing and you don't want to continue that phase you were going through up until your adulthood, just maybe. So maybe you shouldn't do permanent things like puberty blockers, hormone blockers, and go out there wearing dresses on TV and stuff like that. Maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe just go through your phases as a kid, and when you get to be an adult, you become a fully realized person, having all those phases behind you. Does that make any sense? I mean, maybe I'm just, spitballing, but I feel like that just makes sense. But yeah, I saw Dwayne Wade saying, I was like, this is really crazy. Totally ridiculous what's going on here. But I think that's what's going on. They kind of just wanted to push forward their agenda, because if they're able to do, if they can do that, then they could just change things. They could just eliminate. And I think the ultimate goal here is to attack the children. That's the ultimate goal, is to attack the kids. Like I said, Dwayne Wade's son, they got him. A lot behind them that they can work with to move forward on their whole agenda. If somebody is gay, I don't really care about that. That's not really my concern. If somebody cross dresses or something like that, how can I control that? How can I control how somebody dresses? I would prefer not. I would prefer not to see what I saw when I was at Old Country Buffet back in the day. These big, I've said it before, these guys were 7 feet tall each. Humongous. I'm talking about giants. It's like, are y'all on stilts in here or what? These guys were 7 foot tall each, but yet they had had breast implants and butt implants. It looked like Nicki Minaj, but 3 times the height. They looked like that. They were clearly men. I'm not saying they looked good. I'm saying they had like the enhancements, like they were women, but they were not women. That kind of stuff right there is just, I don't even know what to say. I'll move right along. I wanted to show, how can I control these guys dressing like that? I don't really want to see these big, tall guys dressed like that, but how can I control it? What am I going to do? Be like, hey man, I got to get out of here dressed like that. I don't really know. Maybe if you're in a family-friendly restaurant and they got stuff hanging out, you could tell them it's indecent exposure. But if they want to put on a Miss Doubtfire dress, I saw a little bit of everything back then. I saw the big 7 foot tall dudes looking like, Sinead ain't from Martin, but giant. And I also saw a literal Miss Doubtfire clone. We all saw Miss Doubtfire back in the day, if you're my age especially. I saw a guy that looked just like Miss Doubtfire, but it was like a low effort Miss Doubtfire. You understand what I'm saying? He had on the Miss Doubtfire dress, but he didn't have on any hair or makeup. He just had on the dress. Like literally, Meemaw's dress, just like Bob the plumber with Meemaw's dress on, straight up. Like, hold on. Let me see if I can find. My man looked like this. He looked like that, but the dress was like curtain color. Think about your grandma's curtains that are kind of like white, but off-white. He looked just like that. And he didn't really care. He was just like, yo, this is what I'm doing. It is what it is. Okay, low effort Miss Doubtfire. What am I going to tell him? We ain't going to serve you? That'd be $10, please. Going to the plates right there, silverware right there, drinks right there at the machine. Welcome to Old Country Buffet. Enjoy yourself. What am I going to do? But anyway, so I wanted to get to, now in the video I made talking about the trans skateboarder, I made the comparison to Dennis Rodman. A lot of you guys know that Dennis Rodman he would cross dress, but I don't think he was gay. I think he just wore women's clothing and didn't really care. He was just like, I'm gonna do what I want to do and that's it. But the key here is that Dennis Rodman did not try to join women's basketball. He went out there and balled out against the men and was dominant in the men's game as far as a defensive presence and a rebounding presence. Okay. Like, remember, this is Dennis Rodman right here. He wore a wedding dress out in public, took photographs. I think he was in a horse-drawn carriage too. Don't get me to lying. But this Dennis Rodman is 6'8". He's humongous. Okay. He'll be on the Chicago Bulls dressing like this and then go out there the next day or that night and get 38 rebounds, no points, and 12 blocks. a monster on the court against men, though. He didn't say, you know what, I'm going to wear a dress right now, lipstick, makeup, foundation, eyelashes, all of that, and then go play against the women because I'm transgender. Nah, nope. Go out there and play against the men. If you want to do something like this, I'm not going to be like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go out there and get a Dennis Rodman look. I'm not going to model my fashion after this guy or anybody like that, because that's not my cup of tea. That's not how I rock. Okay, I'm not going to have the big piercings in my lip. That's just not me. That's Dennis. That's what he does. But if you can go out there and play basketball, if you can go out there and perform in your sport against your actual biological gender, then go for it. Then go for it. Okay, that's kind of how I feel about the whole situation. Okay, and that should be the case with anybody. If you want to be calling yourself non-binary, gender non-conforming, cross-dressed, whatever you identify as, you still need to compete against your own gender. And I think a question in there in that interview I showed you with the guy, the skateboarding, big blocky jaw, Minecraft, Roblox jaw looking, Lego block jaw looking. In that video, they asked him, they were saying, hey, you know what? A solution has been proposed. There should be 3 leagues, or 3, I guess you would say, categories: biological men, biological women, and everybody else. And this person was saying, no, it shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't keep it apart. Segregation, all this and that. That's dumb, because genders must be different. Okay, they're segregated for a reason, because there's advantages in if you're a man or a woman. But my solution would be, if you are born a XY male, compete against the XY males. It don't matter how you look. Okay, it doesn't matter your physical appearance. I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? I don't really care if you're beautiful, ugly, whatever. That's irrelevant when it comes to sports, in my opinion. So compete against your biological gender. If you can't do that, then you're not good enough. That's just life. It don't matter how you identify. I might think that I deserve to be playing against LeBron James. I want to go play for the Brooklyn Nets. I want to go down to the A, drive down there, and try out for the Atlanta Hawks. Meanwhile, hey, if I'm running for about 15 minutes, I'm out of breath. I'm about to fall on the ground and pass out. So I'm not going to, I have no chance. I have no ability to go out there and do that. That's just called life. Everybody can't do what everybody does. I think the obvious reason why these guys are invading women's sports is to go out there and push for a narrative, a political narrative, and to have success where they had no success before. You're mediocre as a swimmer, Leah Thomas. Now you become a quote-unquote woman and you dominate. That's all it is. Attention, fame, success, and political agenda. But I will digress. If you guys like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Oh, did you guys see where did you guys see where Joe Biden and I think the administration were asked about the high gas prices? It's like, hey, how long are we going to keep up with these high gas prices? Like, how long are we going to keep this war going on? And we're going to have these high prices as a result. Let me try to find that video right quick, because that was really crazy. I mean, talking about being tone deaf, you couldn't be no more tone deaf than that. Like, there's a serious issue with the gas prices, and you're just like, nah, we ain't too much worried about that. You know, we got other things going on. Hold on. I'm gonna find a few things here. I got a few videos for you guys. There might be a little bit of language, so please, bear with me. It's not my fault. Blame the white man for the language. All right, but let me go ahead and, there's quite a few things here I got to get to. Yeah, the whole liberal war. Okay, here's one of them that I want to show you guys. Here's one. And I got a lot. y'all hold on. I got a lot of videos. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. I got to go all the way back. So here's Joe Biden. Before we get to the whole liberal world order, high gas prices thing, here's a very inexplicable video from Joe Biden. Inexplicable. Oh, speaking about gas. Before I get to the crazy Joe Biden video, okay, I'm driving my Tundra, right? Now, I knew when I got my Toyota Tundra, it's a big truck, 8-cylinder. I'm getting like maybe at best 14 miles, 15 miles to the gallon. And all of that is interstate, highway miles, not even in traffic. I don't live in a really big city. This ain't like driving in New York City. You stop in every 5 seconds. It's not like that. It's a lot of wide open stretches. But anyway, I'm getting 15 miles to the gallon at best in my truck. Maybe if I'm going like straight interstate and no stops at all, maybe I might get 16 miles to the gallon. Maybe. Anyway, I'm paying $125 per tank. $125 per tank. That's every week. Now, I knew that it was going to be expensive when I got my truck. But during Trump, I was paying $60, $65 for that same tank. $65 for the same tank. I'm paying $125 for it right now. Now, luckily, I'm able to afford it. But good grief, I mean, I understand why people are drilling holes in gas tanks to siphon out gas. I understand. I get it. I totally get it. I'm not saying I agree with it, obviously, but I understand. And then I don't even want to talk about those that, drive big rigs or dualies, or they work in their trucks, or they got to have gas for their like lawn care, stuff like that. How can you afford it? And then, of course, you're going to have the trickle down effect of the gas impacting food, which it already has done, and other things that have petroleum and whatnot in it. It's crazy. $125 a tank. And I don't even live in a place where the gas is really high. The gas is what? $4.11? Yeah, it's $4.11 here. So the gas is about $4.11, and a tank is $125. That's almost on E. About 50 miles to E, $125 a tank. And I'm paying that every week. And I don't even drive that much. Not really. Burko says $1,200 a day with just diesel fuel. Wow. $1,200 a day. Good grief. David Hughes says ABL road trip up to Crossville to go to the new Buc-ee's. I might go to Crossville and check out the new Buc-ee's. I might have to do that. Yeah, shout out to Buc-ee's. But yeah, now I got a big tank in my I think it's like I got like a 28 gallon tank in my Tundra, but still, it doesn't even matter. Every week though, that's the whole point. You paying it every week. $65 under Trump, $125 under Biden. Why would I vote for Biden again? But I digress. I was triggered by that whole gas thing when I mentioned it, so I had to get my personal story. Brittany Griner, we'll talk about that in a minute as well. Y'all let me forget it. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me pull up the story so I don't forget. I'm all over the place here, but y'all please bear with me. And let me make sure I got it here. All right, I'll put it over there for now. So here's the one video that I saw from Joe Biden that just kind of perplexed me.
You only arrest for the purpose of dealing with a felony that's committed, and I don't count drunk driving as a felony.
The hosts are speechless. Now, I don't know where this was. Oh, this is on Vice News. I see they got a little Vice News on their cars right there. And I see the Vice logo and whatnot in the background, other things, and some coffee mugs. What was Joe talking about? Let's play it one more time.
You only arrest for the purpose of dealing with a felony that's committed, and I don't count drunk driving as a felony.
Speechless. They had no idea what to say. look at his face. Hold on. Look at my man right there. It's like, okay, where do we go from here? How do we unpack that little nugget? So basically, my man, Paul Pelosi, when he got caught driving drunk and crashed his car, he shouldn't be arrested for no felony. Just let him go. When my son gets pulled over, smoking crack in his car, and he's high driving, don't arrest him either. If I'm driving, which I shouldn't be, and I'm asleep behind the wheel, I get disoriented, don't lock me up. That was so strange. why would you not? If you're drunk, like legit drunk driving, that should be an automatic arrest. I'm not saying that you had a couple drinks, alcohol in your system. Like if you're legit drunk, swerving, dangerous, no. That needs to really be a serious issue. I don't even know why you would say something like that. That was really crazy. Ivana says, I can't afford to drive drunk. That's gas, Joe. Exactly. Yes, they were stunned. They were stunned, Lisa. Like, what's going on? Hold on. I have another video here. You know, Joe's been over there. What's that with G6, G7, G8, whatever it is now, over in Europe for a while. And let's see what he's doing here.
For Ukraine and sustain that NATO's door remains open by inviting Finland and Sweden to.
Pardon the frame rate. I'm not really sure what they recorded this on. They recorded it with the very first iPhone to ever come out in human history. I don't know what this is, but it's really bad frame rate. It's just real choppy, like a slideshow.
Join our alliance.
What
the hell?
Finland and Sweden to join our alliance.
Benny,
Finland.
why you do that, Benny? It kind of caught me off guard with that. But what is he doing right there with his hands? Like, look at it one more time. You have Blinken right there. I think that's Blinken. I forget my man's name right here. From the military, I think one of the generals.
Finland and Sweden to join our alliance.
What the hell?
Finland and Sweden to join our alliance.
What is that? Why is he doing that? Why is making his hands do this? What are we even? What is that? What was that?
Finland and Sweden to join.
So he had like a little drink in his hand. Took some of the drink, put the drink down, and then he just takes his hands together and motions like he's clapping, but he doesn't clap. Does it briefly. What is this? I mean, this guy, 81 million votes. This guy is the leader of the Democratic Party. This guy is who we're hitching our wagons to. This guy is our leader. I mean, what's going on? Okay, next one.
How long is it fair to expect American drivers and drivers around the world to pay that premium for this war?
As long as it takes. So Russia cannot, in fact, defeat Ukraine and move beyond Ukraine.
How long is it?
So basically he's saying, look, part of the reason why gas is so high is because we're engaging in a proxy war against Russia. Because understand, we're not taking Russian imports of energy, and we've cut production here, and we're not trying to produce more. They'll say things like, oh, we're producing more here than in previous administrations, but that's just simply not telling you the actual story. They're not telling you. They're not addressing the concern. The concern is we're not meeting demand. You understand? They're talking about gas production under COVID when people were not on the road. They were at home. So there's a higher demand now because COVID is over with and people want to get outside and move around. They want to travel. They want to do things. So if you are not increasing production, you're cutting oil and gas leases, you're shutting down Keystone XL, and you're not taking in Russian energy. The result is a higher cost at the pump for everyday American citizens. And the whole thing with Russia is being done to boycott them because of the whole Ukraine invasion. All it's doing right now is affecting us as regular people at the pump. Russia's still going on with their war, and they're not going to stop. So why should we suffer for that?
How long is it fair to expect American drivers and drivers around the world to pay that premium for this war?
As long as it takes. So Russia cannot, in fact, defeat Ukraine and move beyond Ukraine.
So basically, it's like, look, man, however long they're going to be there in Ukraine, Russia that is, if Russia's going to be there in Ukraine fighting them, we will continue this boycott and we will continue to have these very high gas prices. But this could also be kind of a thing that it's like a win-win for him because he wants to push forward this whole green energy kerfuffle. This green energy, not kerfuffle, that's the wrong word. This green energy scam. That's what it is. It's a scam. Al Gore, Greta Thunberg, the biggest profiteers of the scam that I've been able to see. And here's one of Biden's handlers going on CNN talking about it. And CNN, hey, shout out to you guys for being a little bit less partisan and asking some real questions, because this is a real question. This is not even a partisan question. People in the street, just normies that don't know about politics, probably don't even vote, are concerned about this. You know, you're just trying to put gas in your tank, go to work, take care of your kids. You don't care about politics. This is a real serious question that has to be answered. So let's see what he says here.
They say that this could be a long war measured in years. And I think everybody understands why this is happening. But is it sustainable? What do you say to those families who say, listen, we can't afford to pay $4.85 a gallon for months, if not years. This is just not sustainable.
Well, what you heard from the president today was a clear articulation of the stakes. This is about the future of the liberal world order, and we have to stand firm.
So basically, it's like, look, yeah, it's expensive. Yeah, you paying arm and a leg. You can't afford it. As a result of the high gas, crime is going up. That's all happening to you, but check it out. There's a bigger picture you got to worry about. Sacrifice yourself, sacrifice your family for the liberal world order. Now, I'm not worried about the world. I'm not worried about Ukraine or Russia or Europe. I'm worried about me. I'm worried about y'all as people in America. If you live elsewhere, my heart goes out to you as well. But I live in America. I'm an American. My concern is, first of all, people that are right around me, friends, family, etc. But then to the country in which I live, in which I pledge my allegiance, not to some foreign place. That's not, I mean, hey, if you live in the Ukraine and you got a war going on, I feel for you, but I can't help you out there, boss. I can't do nothing for you. It is what it is. That's not my war to fight. There's all kind of wars raging all across the world, all kind of conflicts and things like that have not been labeled wars that we don't get involved in. Ukraine is a political thing that the U.S. wants to be involved in because of Russia. We want to fight a proxy war against Russia. I'm not interested in fighting the proxy war. This is part of the reason why Trump was so popular, because he was anti-war. You see, Biden comes in there and immediately sparks a war, a proxy war with Russia. You see, Russia, they fight in Ukraine because Ukraine has been positioned to be aggressive toward Russia because they've been bolstered from the outside. That's what that is. So when Russia attacks Ukraine, that gives us the green light to go in there and help Ukraine, because we want to fight Russia indirectly without fighting them head on, obviously. That's what's going on here. It ain't nothing else to it. I don't want to be involved in any kind of proxy war. I don't want to be involved in any kind of thing like that. All I want to do is be left alone and chill. That's it. But I will go ahead and digress. We have more video here.
Folks, this breaking down of the international and national norms.
So this video is from 2017 for those that are listening to the audio only. Let me start from the top. 2017, Biden said that Trump was breaking down the norms that hold the liberal world order together. So this liberal world order is not necessarily a new term.
Folks, this breaking down of the international and national norms is the glue that holds the liberal world order together and holds together our system. That is what is being attacked now, and that's what's most dangerous.
So, I mean, it's a plan they've had for a long time to do certain things, and that's just kind of what it is. Okay, now I have yet another video. This one's kind of silly. Now, AOC was out walking around, and she was talking about something, but just try and hear what she's saying and see if it makes any sense. Okay, let me go ahead and just play it right quick. This is AOC out there walking. It appears to be in New York. I'm not really sure where she is. New York, DC, somewhere.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. And I say happy because joy, too, can be an act of resistance. I want to talk about personal acts of reclamation, because sometimes people will say, there's nothing I can do, I can't do, I feel so powerless. And there is no act too small that you can engage in. And even today, I have a personal errand. I need to redo my nails. And I've decided that I'm going to use my new manicure as almost like a personal act of reclamation for me and my story.
So basically, she's talking about resisting and quote unquote acts of reclamation. Like, I guess that whole Maxine Waters, Reclaiming My Time, that whole thing. So her act of reclamation, her act of protest is going to be to get her nails done. Getting your nails done, that's part of a protest act. Okay. Now, does it make any sense? I don't understand. People like this, they say random things, but they get put on the platform. They get put on the platform, put a bunch of money behind them, and it makes no difference if they say anything that makes any sense. They can kind of say it and get away with it like that. It was crazy. I have no idea what she was talking about, but yeah, that's your congresswoman from New York, AOC, and she's not necessarily alone in her airheadness on the Hill. She's not alone. She probably got that from somebody to say. It probably wasn't even her idea to say something like that. You understand? Because who would say that getting my nails done is an act of protest or act of reclamation? Who would say something like that? Some nut job on the Hill. Wouldn't be surprised. Okay, I got one more video, and then I get to super chats and the calls and whatnot. But this one, hopefully they don't get too triggered about me on YouTube. I'm gonna play some of it. Okay, it's risky, but I like taking risks. All right, so this is my man. I want to say my man is well, it's still on YouTube. And when was this from? From today. So shout out to my man Jim Brewer. Jim Brewer, comedian. Oh man. The full video is on YouTube under Jim Brewer's Bruniverse on his YouTube channel. It premiered yesterday and it's still on YouTube apparently, so they didn't delete it. So shout out to him for that. But this particular scene right here is fantastic. So let's check it out. This is a comedy special from that. Yeah, it's a comedy special.
The vaccinators, you were real cocky a couple months ago. I got vaccinated. Got my second shot April 19th. I can't get sick from the corona. I'm vaccinated. See this bucket of virus? I'm vaccinated. I'll even lick metal. I'm not afraid of anything. I don't have to wear a mask. People vaccinated are getting sick. What? You need a new booster. What? Who wants a shot? Who wants to see a ball game? Wave your flipper. That's for you. Go see the ball game. Who wants to work again? That's for you. Who wants their kids educated? What's in the shot? It's safe. Don't worry. Don't worry. Go ahead, get it.
That was, again, Jim Brewer. Go to his YouTube channel. The entire special just came out. That's on his channel right now. So that right there, hey, spot on. That's comedy that I like. You ain't scared. You're going for it. I love that kind of comedy. Love it. So yeah, that was fantastic. Oh man, absolutely. Yeah, it's true. It's funny because it's true. It can be sad, but at this point, you can't do nothing but laugh to keep from crying, for sure. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and keep moving here. Super chats on deck, and then I'm gonna get to the calls. Oh, Brittany Griner. You know, that's a WNBA player that's in jail in Russia. She going to trial, and they got like a 99.99% conviction rate. If it was Trump, though, you know, do you know that Trump threatened a trade war with Sweden if they didn't release the rapper by the name of ASAP Rocky? Do you know that? If Trump was in office, she wouldn't have got she wouldn't even be in jail at all. But hey, no more mean tweets, right? No more mean tweets. But I'll move right along. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that clip from Jim Brewer. I'm talking about super brave to put it up there because I know YouTube they don't like that. But you know what? I'm gonna say this. I think YouTube is kind of softening up on that kind of stuff a little teeny bit, because of how the government is going with it. They're not really so strict on it, anymore. All right. And we got fireworks happening, so if you hear any kind of noises in the background, that's the fireworks. So don't nobody get triggered by the sounds. And if A$AP Rocky didn't get released, he would not be able to be married to Rihanna right now, who's like a billionaire. Saved that man's life for real in many ways. Probably saved his whole family's life. Because imagine what being married to a billionaire could do for you. Now, A$AP was not a poor person, but nowhere near a billionaire. But I digress. Super chats on deck, and then we get to the calls. And the number to call, 434-658-1220. I'll get to that in a minute. So let me go to these here. Butt versus Windshield says, it's not a pot belly, it's a tool shed. Can't let the tools rust, There you go. Thank you to Debbie for your super chat donation. I appreciate you, Debbie. Thank you to Noah Garcia, who says, just a random question, ABL. I have the same mic as you. Do you run it through the cloud lifter, then to what? Thanks. No, I do not use a cloud lifter. I have a mixer. I have a Rode. What's this called? Pardon me. Let me get the right name for you. This is a Rodecaster. So I'm saying that right. Rode is the actual brand name. The same as not this mic. I have another Rode mic, but the Rode is a brand name, and it's called the Rodecaster Pro. It's expensive, but it works a lot. And with my Rodecaster, it's great for my streaming, especially because I can record the podcast on here, audio only. I'm gonna put it on the screen right quick. It's a good investment, but it is expensive. But if you have the Shure MV7 or the Shure S7B, then you already put a bunch of money into the microphone, so it ain't nothing. If you put 500 into the mic, put 6 into the mixer. Why not? You didn't already done it. Just go ahead and go for it. So this is it right here on Guitar Center. So now you see right here the record button. See, I have that right now recording, and all I gotta do at the end of the show is just hit it again to stop the recording, and then I could just take the file, bring it into not Premiere Pro, but bring it into Audition, just convert it to an MP3. It takes like 2 minutes. And then from there, I put it on Anchor, and then Anchor puts it on all the other podcast streaming platforms. It's a real simple process. You have a soundboard right there. So when I play my intro music, I push the top red button right there, and it plays the song. And you can see the song being played up here. You can see how long it's going to be, how long you got left, and everything else. You got sound effects like right here. There's a slider right next to it that you can turn the sound down, turn it up, whatever you want. You can do it's very versatile. You could put 4 mics on it. So let's say, for example, all you wanted to do was record a podcast, and that's it. And you didn't even want to go live. You could just bring the interface and mics, hook it up, and record a podcast right there with your friends or whoever it is. And then you could just upload it. And I think it also has Wi-Fi. Oh, it has USB-C. So it's really versatile, but I don't use any cloud lifter. There's kind of like apps inside the mixer that can change the way your voice sounds. Well, it can accentuate it a little bit. It'll give it the cloud lifter type of effect. So yeah, get the mixer. That's going to be a great investment for you. It's very versatile. You can do a lot of different things with it. I don't want to get into a whole deep dive on it. I might do a video about that on a separate channel. But I digress. Thank you to hold on one second. Let me go back to where I was. Thank you to Joe Brandon, who says most militia type people are ex-military. Yeah. Thank you to Kaius, who says TikTok is good for libs of TikTok catching leftists. That's correct. Thank you to Eric Burns Marsh. But also, to get back to Kaius Posthumous, TikTok is good for leftists catching, for libs of TikTok catching leftists acting bad. But it's also a way for them people on the left to promote their message. So as soon as she's able to catch somebody doing something crazy and expose them, you have 100 more that come up in their place. It's whack-a-mole. You understand? Thank you to Eric Burns Marsh, who says, remember the main operation, Northwoods, MK Ultra, go for a token, COINTELPRO, quote, I'm not a crook. October surprise, it took the babies from the incubators and the Ukraine coup. Trust the government? Exactly. There's always some kind of fishy stuff going on. Iran-Contra. There's always something else going on with the government and their people. So corruption is possible because it's there. It's inherent. So you can't just say, just trust them blindly like that. Blast Radius says, one of the reasons why I don't support the U.S. military anymore, there are too many weirdos and leftist freaks there. Not only that the military long has abandoned the original principles of the U.S. Yeah, correct. Buff versus Windshield says, I've got to take off for a barbecue. Happy 4th, ABL, mods, and the best group of the right-minded folks on the internet. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate you. Enjoy the barbecue. Thank you to Gabby, who says Pelosi did that once at the worst time of a Biden speech. Yeah, but that whole thing right there with the hands. Kaya says, ABL needs to hire someone to go live in the AM. Byron 8899 says, what's your thoughts on climate activists deflate tires on 40 SUVs in NYC and leave the flyers on them saying your gas guzzler kills? It's so dumb because, I mean, the food they eat, they don't understand the way the world works. It just see things on a very small level. SUVs on the road, you worried about that? How about them 18-wheelers that bring all your Amazon products every day? You ordering all kind of weird stuff. You ordering your cosplay outfits on Amazon every 2 days. I mean, how does that get to you? It comes on the plane, which burns a whole lot of fuel. Then it comes on the truck. Then it comes on like a UPS truck or a USPS truck, FedEx truck. I mean, how much gas does that burn? You don't care about that. As long as you get your items, your little snacks and goodies and whatnot, you don't really care. But because the SUV is sitting right there, not even being driven, you want to deflate the tires? It's so silly. I wish there was a movement that said, stop being silly. SBS, stop being silly. Use your brain. How about that? All right. And Heath says, number one question, why do we care what happens in Ukraine? I don't know. If you know, you tell me. I can't really call it at all. Thank you to Watts, who says, thanks for all you do. Happy 4th. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Shout out to Series A5274, who says, I'm a woman. It's my body, my choice, my responsibility to take care of my body to avoid getting pregnant. There you go. Right on. Apple says a few things here. Happy 4th of July to you and your family, ABL USA. Razor Sharp Thoughtfulness says the damage from the higher gas prices could have been reduced or even avoided if liberals had the foresight and discipline to see beyond their egos. Of course. But I think at the end of the day, this was intentional to a certain extent because they want to try to push out fossil fuel. Like, this ain't the way you go about it because we don't have technology to be able to replace fossil fuel. You can't just make it expensive and therefore reduce the usage and have that usher in green energy and technology. That's not how that works. You got to have technology first to be able to use it. Apple says, God bless y'all on celebrating Independence Day. Also, America has done so much good for the world, USA. Plans for the 4th of July barbecue. You grilling? Are you the grilling uncle? I'm not quite the grilling uncle. I am an uncle, but I'm not the grill master quite yet. Okay. I still got I still got my regular flip flops, my Virginia Beach, going to the strip on the 4th flip flops, going to the boardwalk and all of that. I still got I gotta have the leather like Jesus flip flop. I need those before I'm an official grill master, and a pair of New Balance sneakers. I need that. And then at that point, I'm the grill master, and a pair of jean shorts. Yep. If I got that, then I'm good money. Apple also says plans for the already read that. Leo said happy Independence Day. Thank you for that. Apple says God bless all U.S. veterans and past and current. Thank you. And also God bless J6 Patriots in D.C. jail. Pray for families. There you go. Thank you for all your super chats, but you know what time it is. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. If you're grilling out this weekend, has food gone up for you? How much more is your 4th of July celebration, money-wise, as far as the food? How much more is it this year compared to last year and the year before that and the year before that? You buying ribs and everything? Are they available? Are you getting high-quality food? What's going on with that? Because I've heard that's going to be an issue, trying to get quality food and trying to get food for a good price. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get to the calls. There's also a Skype email in the description. If Skype does not work, you know it's not my fault. Please blame the white man. Don't blame me, because you know it ain't my fault. All righty. And the number to call, 434-658. There it is, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. All righty, let's go. 908, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 908, hello. Okay, maybe I can't hear 908. Give me 1 second. Let's make sure that everything's good over here. And yeah, it should be. 908, can you hear me, 908? Oh, I'm tripping. Okay, can you hear me, 908?
Hear me?
I hear you now, yes.
Hi, Anthony.
Hello.
This is Debbie from New Jersey.
All righty, what's going on?
How you doing?
It's all good, can't complain.
Okay, so I'm just calling you because I just got a couple of things going on. I just wanted to say thank you for taking my call. All right, so number one, I just want you guys to know that I know we spoke about the other day. Remember I told you about Whoopi Goldberg?
Yes.
So I also commented to that guy from Green Day. You know the one that said he wants to lead the country?
Yeah.
That singer? Okay, so guess what I said, Anthony? I said, oh, I'm sorry to see you go. I said, but you know what? Before you leave the country, since you hate it so much, all that money that you made from your American fans, you need to give it back. I said, now on top of that, that nice house you have on American soil, donate that to the homeless. Because you can't take that with you because it's American, since you hate America so much. So I just wanted to get that out. And Taraji P. Henson, who cares? I don't care about her anyway. But I just want to let everybody know all this craziness that's going on. And I know people want to do something and people are speaking out and things like that. If you start out little within your own community, that's good. And that makes a difference. I'm just going to give you an example and then I'm going to hang up the phone. In my town, I live in a little suburban town, very quiet town. And they had the gay pride sign on the lawn by the municipal building. And they had a concert and they had a flag right next to the POW flag. Okay? And my town, Catholic religion is very, very big. A lot of big Catholic churches. I said to myself, I know somebody had to complain about that because a whole bunch of Italians in my town, and I looked it up online, and I saw that this one old lady, her name was Caroline, 80 years old. She went to the township committee, the mayor's meeting, and she spoke out against the flag. She was there by herself. Nobody was with her. And in her comments, she said there was a couple of veterans from American Legion halls that were against it also. The American Legion Hall in my town denied that woman like Judas denied Christ. No, I just want you to know she never came here, and we accept everybody. Da 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 da. I felt so bad for that woman. I found her number, and I called her, and I apologized for no one being with her. And I told her, I thank you for standing up for what you believe in. And it's so sad because I don't know if her husband was a veteran, and she probably donated to this American Legion for years, and they turned her away like that. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. Little things like this really make a difference, okay? Now, I have a Jewish community center in my town. They do a lot of activities with kids. They're celebrating Pride Month, and they call themselves Jewish. How can you be doing that if you're Jewish and you're supposed to be religious and you go by the word of God? So you're not going by the word of God. And also the YMCA is doing that, Young Men's Christian Organization. This is what I'm trying to say to you. This stuff is this is an agenda. And these people are getting paid somehow to push this thing. And they're coming hard. But I want you guys just to wake up and see what's creeping, because the devil is at your front door. And these churches cannot do anything. And if anybody goes to a house of worship, make sure to see if your church is under a 501c3, not for a business, for a church. Lyndon B. Johnson started this in the 60s. The 501c3 with churches separated church from state. Your church can't speak out against any political or social issues. If they do, they're done. So in other words, your church family and your pastor cannot defend anything. Okay? So they sold their soul to the devil, because you cut off the head of Christ, you're no longer the body of Christ as a community, as a church. You're now a CEO of a corporation. Okay? And you're answering to the government, and you can't serve two gods. So if your church is a 501c3, I would say you need to get out of there, because what's going to happen is they're coming hard, these states, okay? And they're going to start coming against Christianity. That's their first thing, okay? So what I want you to do, find out if your church is a 501c3. You can look it up online, see how it affects the church. They can't do anything. And if you go to a big church, and if you have greeters there, you have people come in to greet you, and you see that they're different, or you have different people, new members, whatever you do, if they engage in conversation with you, do not give your political beliefs or anything that's going on, because these churches are sending people in just to evaluate everything undercover. And if they see that your political views don't go with them, they got you down as a domestic terrorist. I'm not kidding you. This is real. And your pastor will sell you out to the street. If they come into your church and they say, hey, we want a list of everybody in your church. Let's say everybody that got a red car. We want to know who they are. Your pastor has to give them that information. And they can come knocking on your door if they want to take your red car. So I would suggest to you, get out of that church if you guys are religious, and you can start, what's the name of it? Ecclesia, which is home churches, what they did a long time ago. And you can do that within your own home to worship. Get out of your church. Do not give them a dime. And this Catholic Church and what's going on, I don't know. But this is all about the worship of the Baphomet with this transgender thing. And if you look it up, and you guys are going to be really surprised, the Pope in the Vatican years ago blessed a statue of Moloch. Moloch is the statue, the deity with child sacrifice. He blessed it within the Colosseum, where all those people were killed. Okay? So I just want to let you guys know this. This is this is spiritual warfare. And you guys got to pick a lane. Either you're going to worship God or you're going to worship the devil, because the devil has moved into everything. And the public library in my town, they don't have a flag outside.
Right.
But they're celebrating Pride Month, and they have books in there for children.
I got you.
Totally. But they can't say anything because they sold their souls to the government, guys. So just be careful. And if you're in a church with 501c3 for churches, get the heck out of there quick. All right? I love you. God bless everybody. Anthony, keep doing the good work. And also, Ukraine is very corrupt.
I got you.
Okay? Yeah, okay. Putin is a God-fearing man, and he's in there doing good because
right on.
Those Russian soldiers found a couple of things over there with children.
Right.
And there was no parents around. They had them locked in warehouses, and these children were not from Ukraine. And don't you guys give a dime to Ukraine because all that money is going in Biden's pockets. Because don't forget, Trump put that executive order, and then he cut off all the money to all those crooked people.
That's right.
So they don't have any money.
Thank you for your call.
Okay?
I appreciate
you. He
you.
told us about TikTok 2 years ago.
Thank you for your call, though. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, everybody. God bless. And start within your community.
All righty.
Keep your eyes open because it's creeping in.
Gotcha.
It's here. It's here.
All righty.
Thank you. Love you. Ma.
All righty. A great caller. And thank you guys for being here again. Of course, you guys, I couldn't do it without you. Let's get to some more calls here. 215, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how's it going, Anthony?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Nothing much. Basically, wait, do you hear like an echo or something?
No, I don't hear it. Do you have me on the background? Like, do you have me do you have the stream on in the background?
I just turned you way down. As soon as you answered the phone.
Okay.
All right. So basically, I saw that there was another mass shooting, another police shooting. What did this happen like yesterday, a couple days ago?
A police shooting or a mass shooting?
I mean, not mass shooting, police shooting.
Okay.
That's what I meant to say. Sorry. Yeah, police shooting. What was his name? The guy that got shot who claimed that he was doing DoorDash. Name Jalen. It was Jalen, right?
I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Oh, the one who jumped from the one who bailed from the car and got shot by police when he said you probably didn't cover the story yet.
Yeah, I think I saw something like I saw a little bit. It was like was that in Ohio or something?
Yeah, I didn't check to see where it was.
Okay,
I'm gonna go back and check. But long story short, BLM. Well, not the actual BLM, like because the actual BLM they're just long gone. You don't hear anything from them. You just have it's just the foot soldiers that they're just doing the dirty work. But basically, Jalen, this guy named Jalen, he got pulled over by police, ran from police while he's on a high-speed chase from police. He shot at the police and then bailed from his car and then went on a run while he had a gun and basically got shot by the police. So now I believe the family were already interviewed and they basically said the cops already showed them. They haven't released the body cam footage yet, but you can clearly see it on camera on the news that he was clearly running from the police. But they're trying to show this picture of him when he was in like middle school and all that kind of stuff. Not when he was actual grown man.
Of course,
they would Trayvon Martin.
It's the same old. It's the same old thing. They try to show innocent, he didn't do anything, and all this and that. But they're not showing him at the time of the actual situation and what's going on. They're not showing that part. Is when they get people to feel sympathetic towards somebody without looking at the facts of the case.
Yeah, because I'll never forget when I first saw when I was looking at Trayvon Martin years ago. When I finally saw a picture of him when he got shot while he was a grown man, I was like, "What?" That's just a big difference, a huge difference.
Right.
He's this little kid, this picture of this little kid compared to this whole fully grown, facial hair man. I was like, just watching. I was looking at it, I was like, wow. It just shows you how much the media can lie. And I'm learning that every day.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of, it's crazy. It's like, I constantly try to pay attention to what's going on because it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff that they can lie about, they get misinformed about. I'm still trying to find out a lot of stuff that didn't happen, that weren't shown during the 2020 riots, and I'm still trying to find those videos. Not on YouTube, just anywhere else on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that has been kind of hidden away. They don't want you to see it because if you see it, then you get the reality of what's going on. But they want you to know just the narrative that they push, not the reality.
Yeah, and but I figured it was a lot worse than what they were letting on because all those riots and fire. I was like, no, and lack of police response. I said, no, there's definitely a lot more going on than the news is letting on. And I'll tell you this one thing. What was I getting at? Like when the lady talked about Ukraine, I'll never forget when I found out that Ukraine actually does not support LGBTQ people at all. They don't support the gay agenda. They don't support none of that stuff. And they're not actually, as far as like open arms to gay people, they're not. I found out they're not open arms over there.
Nah, it's not. Like people take America for granted. They think that the things that America allows and things that we embrace are embraced worldwide. That's just not the case.
Yeah, they don't realize how harsh some of those other countries really can be. Like, but yeah, basically. So I'm gonna just end this call here, ABL. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
All right, have a good night.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, shout out to the caller. Let's get to some more here. And the number to call 434-65. I'm tripping. 434-658-1220. 616 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill, I just got a quick question for you.
All right, go for it.
So I'd seen your recent clip that you had aired on the Joe Biden and the drunk driving. And so I did a little bit of research, and I'd seen kind of in America about 10,000 deaths a year from drunk driving. And I just know from prior research, 22,000 deaths a year as a result of handguns and homicide. Yet I see liberals are very good at finding like one-off scenarios of, cops killing people, which generally equates to like 15 people a year on average. So I'm wondering if you think an analytical approach to the right in pointing out the severity of, the true amounts of these crimes that kind of get passed under the rug because people are not necessarily the right skin color, and then comparing it to these kind of one-off scenarios that the left is very good at sensationalizing. If you think that'd be kind of a good approach for the right to take to kind of recognize these one-off scenarios that are a problem, but then kind of highlighting the magnitude of a lot of other deaths and societal issues that kind of get passed aside.
Well, the problem is that we don't have control over the media. The media pushes these things as legitimate stories and serious things that are the only problem, and everything else kind of gets ignored. And the main thing that I would push if I had control over the media would be the abortion issue, because look at how many babies have been aborted since 1973 Roe v. Wade. Millions, much more than anything else. Homicide, suicide, fire, accidents, all of that combined. But people, we're not even at the point where we see a baby, as a society in total. Like many of us do, but many of us don't. So that's a problem right there, not seeing the baby as a baby. And then once you get into other things, you start to understand why some things are seen as more important, or the only thing that's important than others. Like you say, the whole thing about police shootings is very rare. It's low-hanging fruit. But when you see every single shooting on television, whether it's justified or not, you kind of become like, oh, well, that's the bigger issue. But you don't see every single abortion. You don't see every single drunk driver. People like Paul Pelosi can drive drunk and get away with it, and it's not even a big deal. And then Biden goes on TV and says, hey, man, if you're driving drunk, it shouldn't be no felony. So it's just the way things are presented by the mainstream media and by the politicians. We got to fight that battle. Is a presentation. We can talk about it, but if we can't present it properly, if we can't overtake what the mainstream media and the left does politically, it's like talking in the wind. It won't make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. The left is very good at sensationalizing things, and I think it's been effective, because if you can build up a story and get people to genuinely believe, cops are just hunting down black people, even though it's such a one-off scenario, and people generally believe it, you can definitely rev up people. And it's the same thing with abortion, because people will always sensationalize it and talk about, like health to the woman, or like a rape scenario or incest. But that how often is that really the case, and why these things are occurring?
That's less than one. It's less than 1% of all. Less than 1% of all abortions are because of rape, incest, life with the mother. Less than 1%. The majority of abortions are elective because they wanted to do it, or a financial reason, which is the same thing. But any other medical reason or some kind of sexual assault, that's very rare. It almost never happens.
Right. So I'm going to drop off now, but kind of my final question was, do you think kind of pointing out these numbers and statistics while also kind of recognizing these, one-off scenarios and just pointing to the numbers would be an effective political strategy? Or do you think people are just kind of set in their ways and using a more analytical approach wouldn't kind of resonate with your average American?
I mean, it goes back. It's again, you got to get down to how it's presented, because you can have resonate with Americans,
right.
But if they don't even understand what a baby is, we're fighting a losing battle on that end.
Yeah. All right, I'll let you get to more calls.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, man, that's the main thing, because we could talk about all these things, but we got to be able to reach people. And with reach people, although mainstream media, it sucks and we all know it, you still got to be able to use the mainstream media. You have to, because if you don't, then it's like, you got to, the mainstream media must be used. It just is what it is. Okay, let's go. 559, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, Patrick from California. How's it going?
Everything's all right. How about yourself?
Hey, good, man. Happy Independence Day to you. Weekend, rather. Hope you light off some good ones. I'm in a safe and sane state, so, I'm kind of locked down here with everybody throwing out those tickets and violations and the whole 9 yards. So I don't know what state you're in, but hey, man, if you can blast off some good ones, do it for me.
Oh, definitely. Right on, man. Like where I live, they have fireworks in the Walmart right in the front, so it's all good.
Oh, man, you got it made. That's amazing. I wanted to talk to you about, I seen on Newsmax the other day. Now, they were saying that Joe Biden is set to fire some 40,000 United States Army National Guard troops over the vax. I wanted to get your take on that.
I mean, it's a crazy thing. All you're going to do is just make us less prepared. You're going to impact our preparedness militarily, because that, I mean, you're not going to really be able to replace that anytime soon, because at the same time, there's also like a record low recruitment level for the military for things like that, because they don't want to have to get the vax, and the woke stuff is turning them off. So you're going to fire people that you already are going to have a hard time replacing. It doesn't make any sense.
Right. I agree. It absolutely doesn't, especially since I was talking to a lot of family who are military, and also people on social media who I'm friends with who are also military. And they're saying you can't just wake up as the president one day and say, oh, I'm going to fire 40,000 troops with a snap of a finger like that. That's 40,000 specialists. It's 40,000 demolition engineers. It's 40,000 combat medics. That's 40,000 paratroopers, you name it. You can't just turn around and rehire 40,000 more people and expect them to be combat ready and able to get out the gate as efficient and productive as these troops that are already trained and ready to go are.
Exactly. 100% correct. Like you say, it's not going to be just you can't just put, place them in and place them out like a McDonald's worker or a Walmart worker. I mean, like what's the training? Okay, come in here, stand right there, do this, do that. So it's not quite so simple. Skilled people, they have specific talents. It's a silly way to go about governing. And I hope that people see that come 2022, like this term, midterms, and also 2024.
I agree 100%, especially since, they want to put our national security at risk. And if nobody sees this now, I mean, we don't have the military manpower that we used to of yesteryear. We're not in World War II where we have these 1 million man armies and we can go off and just fight the whole world. 40,000 U.S. troops being potentially fired is a huge chunk of our military manpower. And you're right, it puts us at a huge risk. And so I think if anything, midterms, we got to do everything we possibly can to vote these people out. And I mean, it's literally, we're like on the last hill to die on here. So I just wanted to get that across to you, ABL, and thank you so very much, and enjoy the rest of your Independence weekend. And God bless you, sir. God bless the United States of America and our 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. You have a great evening, sir.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Great call. Yeah, man, that's crazy. Like, why would you fire all those people in the military, all those troops, and why would you fire them just at once like that when you know you can't replace them? And like you said, you have skilled people with certain specific skills. You can't just bring some guy from the street and say, hey, okay, you take this, like take his place, just push you right there. That's not how that works. Okay. And they're having a hard time being able to recruit new recruits, 18-year-olds out of high school, having a hard time doing that. I mean, and why would anybody be surprised about that? You're raised in many of these places across the country to hate America, to hate the police, to hate military, to hate law enforcement, to hate anybody that's of authority, breaking the family apart. So you hate authority from there too. You're not my dad, all this, that, and the third. How are you going to be able to? I just don't understand the logic here. I don't really get it. All right. Your line speaker to 417.
Yes, sir. It's like, thank you for taking my call. I'll make it really quick. I just wanted to agree with an earlier caller. I believe she was named Debbie. But I'm seeing a large degree of infiltration by leftist groups. It's like, for example, it's like we had recently, she was talking about churches. I'm seeing a lot of, in my area, fly-by-night churches that are opening up, claiming to support LGBTQ. But yet it's like none of the mainstream churches these just seem to be fringe churches. I'm hearing of, which I know to be false because I am Jewish, of Jewish heritage. Jews do not support abortion, but yet it's like there was videos circulating saying that Jews somehow support abortion or the right to abortion. That's incorrect. No mainstream Jewish sect supports that. And it's like also I've noticed it's like once again these leftist groups it's like seem to have other agendas other than what they're actually supporting. It's like after Roe v. Wade was overturned, there was a demonstration in Springfield, Missouri. Once again, but none of the people were from Springfield. I saw the demonstration. All these people were for out of town. They all had like either Oregon or Washington or California plates, and they were actually like even though they said they were all about reproductive rights. They seem to have other agendas. They're either like having speeches about socialism or Marxism, or they were Luciferian. So I just wanted to basically say that there seems to be infiltration going on by the left, either as masquerading as Republicans or as religious groups. I just would like to bring that to your attention. I thank you for taking my call, sir.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
No surprise there. We saw the video featuring the U.S. Congress, the U.S. Senate candidate for South Carolina. I think her name was Crystal Matthews. Don't get me in the line here. Let me make sure I'm saying the right name. And shout out to Project Veritas and my man R.C. Maxwell and James O'Keefe and the whole squad for getting her out of there. Yeah, Crystal Matthews. Remember, she was on the phone call with the guy in the penitentiary talking about we have to infiltrate the South Carolina GOP with sleepers. They said it right there on the call, like recorded in the jail call. So if she's thinking that, if she's actively trying to do that, and she's in government now, she's a candidate for U.S. Senate, but she's currently in the South Carolina, I think, Senate. So she's currently a state rep, but not a U.S. state rep, if that makes any sense. She's not in the U.S. Congress. She's in local state Congress. She's talking about that on the call. So I would not be surprised if there are many more like her that think the exact same thing and they are doing the exact same thing, not just in politics, but in all forms of social life. You're talking about education system and military and everything else. It gets kind of crazy. 972, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Mr. ABL, this is Unified TV here.
All right, man. What's going on?
Hey, not much. I was just really not much. I'm just irritated by black people in America right now because I think black people in America right now are incredibly ungrateful, to tell you the truth, because we're sitting there wanting to criticize Clarence Thomas and, because he's a black man up there, and they don't think that he fights for the things that are important to black people. But if you think about this, he's fighting to try to put an end to something of which black women, people of colors, but specifically black women, are leading the category in, and that's abortion. I know they handed it down to the states, but he's still fighting. So you have a black man in the highest court in America. That's already an achievement right there. So what's this? We keep talking about oppression, and you're seeing black people wanting to disrespect July 4th, saying it's not our independence. They want to talk about oppression, but you have a black man sitting on the highest court in America for 30 years, and that's not an example of us not being oppressed. You have respectable people like Candace Owens, who people are always throwing her hat in the ring for presidency. You got people like yourself, highly respected, highly intelligent, highly educated. You got so there's so many examples of black excellence, but because it doesn't fit their narrative, it's not respected. And so you have a man on the highest court in America fighting to save the lives of black babies, but you don't appreciate it. You're saying, oh, they're trying to hurt women of color. If they wanted to really hurt women of color, they would go ahead and promote abortion, because you're already killing your babies. You're leading the category in that. So if they really wanted to take you out, they would promote abortion. But they're fighting to stop it, and you're not grateful. So I'm just tired of seeing the disrespect. I'm tired of seeing the fake oppression and the lack of appreciation for black excellence in America. So I don't know what it's going to take, but I think black people need to wake up and stop voting emotionally and falling for the hype. But I don't know. That's just something I was thinking about. I just see this ignorance all over social media. So I'm sure you've seen some of it too, but I just wanted to get that off my chest a little bit.
Nah, man, I feel you, man. Like, I'm on the same thing. And one thing that I saw, there was a question posed to the general public, to anybody that could respond to it. And the question was, okay, to those that hate Clarence Thomas, you want to call him all kind of names, what's the actual thing that you have a problem with? Like, what's the problem with Clarence Thomas? Because I keep seeing all these things about Clarence Thomas, but nobody can really say what they hate about him. And like you said, the one thing that they may talk about was Roe v. Wade, but again, how is that a bad thing when you want to save black life? Black women, 34% of all abortions, but 13% of the population. So we're like triple our population percentage as far as our abortion percentage, and that's not a problem. That's not really a big deal. He's trying to stop that, and we're calling them some type of name that's anti-black. It's like we kind of have it. We live in a bizarro world where everything's backward, where everything that's right is good and where everything that's good is bad. And until we can get past that kind of mentality, I don't really see hope for a lot of us.
No, I totally agree. And that's exactly what, for the reasons that you said. They're calling this man a sellout, but he's literally saving the lives of black children all over America by fighting to end this. And yes, I can understand it's on the local level, but he's still fighting. Like I said, he voted to have it passed to the states, and we know a lot of these states are turning red. And surprisingly, there were more states in the U.S. that are changing their abortion laws way more than I realized. So that's what scares them. They're not protected by the Supreme Court anymore.
That's
so
right.
Now they're worried. But he's saving lives. So I don't know. I just think respect is due, big time. So I definitely appreciate the time, man. You have an awesome night and a great 4th of July.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. My man, Unifier TV. Awesome call. But yeah, the whole thing with Clarence Thomas makes no sense. I don't really understand. It's like you're calling him all types of names because you think he's somehow anti-black. How? What's anti-black about anything that Clarence Thomas has done? And then I saw one answer. It was like some kind of random, obscure case that nobody knows about that had nothing to do with nothing. It's like, man, nobody cares about that. The reason why people don't like Clarence Thomas is because they've been told to not like Clarence Thomas. If you were to ask any of these people directly that say all these things about Clarence Thomas, hey, what's your actual problem with him? They would have nothing for you. They couldn't really give you an answer because they don't know. All right, Zealand's in. Is this you?
Oh, good evening.
Hey, now what's going on?
Oh, how are you, Anthony? Yes, hello. I was just calling in about that interesting, unfortunate story about the Midwestern kid, I call him. I think he's 24, from the Midwest, who moved to New York City, and then he made some TikTok videos saying how he couldn't find anywhere to buy food except junk food at the bodegas. And he made a series of TikTok videos, apparently, and then the Twitter mob came after him. And he had just moved to the Bronx from Michigan last week and had a job. And then he lost his job because everybody complained that he was complaining.
Oh,
about
really?
Bodegas.
He lost his job for real?
Yeah, well, that's what they're saying. I'm reading this on the Daily Mail, but it was in Yahoo News and a few other places.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, and the thing is, I thought, wow, he's a hero because, you know, somebody comes from the outside and sees something with new eyes. Not that it's new, but you know, those people. I mean, it's almost like a rights issue. People can't buy fresh food, and all they have are these processed foods. And as we know, minorities are hit the hardest by diabetes and, you know, other unfortunate health outcomes, as we know, and a lot of that is tied to diet, as we know. So I think it's great that he actually brought that to their attention because most of the country has better access to good food. And so wherever they are in the, you know, the high density areas, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about in the big cities where, you know, you go mile after mile and you don't see a grocery store. So I think it's great that he brought that to mind that, you know, people, this isn't normal. And anyway, that's my only comment for this evening. I thought it was very interesting, and that ought to bring change. It should not bring this guy losing his job.
Yeah, that's totally. I might do a video about that actually. Thank you for that tip because I saw the initial video, but I did not know that it escalated to that point. That's crazy.
Well, keep doing what you're doing. Thanks so much, ABL.
Thank you for the call.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I'm seeing it right here. So it's on New York Post and everything. Hold on. I'll play that video for you guys right quick. And let me get back to the calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Let me get 1 second here for us. So, okay, I got the article. I won't get too deep into the whole situation because I'm going to do a video on it. But hold on. So here's the video in question. And this guy got a job at a startup because that's what he was talking about. And he got a job at a startup in New York. But until his place was ready, I guess he was like in the hood. And he was talking about being in the hood too.
Okay, so I just moved to New York and I'm trying to go grocery shopping. And so I type in like grocery stores on my Apple Maps. And like every fucking one I go to.
Sorry for the cursing, pardon me. If you got little kids, put their hands over their ears.
Like I'm walking too. Like they're like this shit. Or like fucking like this. Like, bro, that's not a grocery store. Like I'm trying to get like eggs, yogurt, like cheese, like shit like that, right? Like look at this place. Hey yo, Ak, let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese. The Aki way. Like, you know those TikToks? Like
a bacon, egg, and cheese, hilarious. Shout out to the New Yorkers.
I'm fucking doing it. Like I've literally been to like 5 of those now, and like I don't know what the fuck I'm about to do for dinner. Like where are the Krogers and like the Whole Foods at? Like I'm about to eat fucking like cereal and ramen for dinner. Like what the fuck?
So there were a few more of these. Like you said, there was a series of them. And I guess he got in trouble. I think one thing that might have got him in trouble was when he said that he had on a NAACP t-shirt or something like that. Like I'm gonna do the videos and you'll see what I'm talking about. But I mean, really what he's talking about is that you have a food desert where there's not enough fresh food items. I mean, I think that right there is, you know, in my opinion, I think a food desert a lot of times is a fault of the community because you can petition to get these. Like they did that in Norfolk, in Berkeley, Norfolk to be specific, southern part of Norfolk, Virginia. And this is something that I remember because my dad was really part of it. I won't talk too much. I gotta do the video on it, and I'm gonna include this story. But long story short, they had no grocery store in Berkeley for a while. You had to go all the way, like almost Greenbrier or like up in the Norfolk. In Berkeley was no grocery store. Had little gas stations, but no grocery store. So long story short, they had a farm fresh out there for a while. They finally built it, but then they closed up because people weren't really going to it, and they were going in there stealing. So I think a lot of that is the community that it fails to support a grocery store properly. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's the problem, in my opinion. Now people are saying that there are grocery stores out in the Bronx. I'm reading right here. Quest 360 says there is Key Foods in the Bronx and others. So maybe just where he was, he didn't have a grocery store very close to him, but he could have went a little bit and found it, or maybe he just didn't know where he was going. He's going on Google Maps and trying to find grocery stores. Maybe he didn't know what a Key Foods was. Maybe he thought that the Key Foods was the same as a bodega, a little corner store, gas station type thing. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but I'm gonna do a video about that. I promise. Like that's going to be something I talk about because that's an actual serious issue. But let's get back to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. 570, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Aaron.
You're in Georgia.
I'm in Georgia, and I'm visiting my dad down here. So I just had a couple questions.
Back to Pennsylvania.
Go back to Pennsylvania soon. Next week. And I just had a couple questions for you.
All righty.
So why do you think, like, you know, like the green people, like the people that think like they need to like save the atmosphere and stuff, why do you think they're removing the air from the tires in New York City?
Because they don't really understand the way that the world works. They don't understand the way that fossil fuels work and how things get from point A to point B. They just don't understand. So they see the SUV as a gas guzzler and a thing that you shouldn't have because you're burning so much fossil fuel and it's damaging their environment. So they just take their frustration and rage out on the SUV. Meanwhile, they'll order things on Amazon that got shipped from China in a gigantic container with all kind of gas in that. Then it got put on the plane and that burns all kind of fuel. Then it got put on a truck, burns all kind of fuel. Then it got put on a smaller truck, burns more fuel. All to get their little iPhones and all kind of just, you know, cheap Chinese stuff. They don't think like that. They just think, oh, here's this big gas guzzler in front of me. A thing that I've been taught my whole life is the contributor to all this greenhouse emission. So I'm going to damage that to try and impact climate change. It's silly.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so do you think they would go to jail? Because, you know, at like, it was like a week ago or like 2 weeks ago at like the Pride rally, there were these people that were like showing their other parts and it wasn't indecent exposure.
Yeah, I don't know how to get away with that. Really, that's kind of a mystery because I saw one Pride march, rally, whatever they want to call it, where they were riding bikes like that. They were completely nude and they had their stuff. It was men and women had their stuff completely out. I'm just like, how is this not indecent exposure? How are they not getting arrested? I don't know how that happened. Maybe because they're LGBT, they get it passed. I just don't really get it. It's perplexing to me.
Yeah, and so like since they like can have so that reason, do you think the green people could like be like, oh, we're showing our like we're trying to help the environment? Do you think they could do that and like not go to jail then?
You say it one more time for me now.
About letting the air out of the tires. Like, do you think they could like say that they're helping the environment, so it's okay, they don't need to get in trouble?
I mean, they may try to do that, but I'm not really sure. I mean, was that in New York City when that happened? Do you know?
New York City.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, in New York, if it's in New York City, they may be able to get away with it because they don't really arrest anybody for things like that. I mean, so if it's New York, I don't think it would really matter what they say. A crime like that may not necessarily get you arrested, but anywhere else it may not fly.
Yeah, and I just have one more question. So next week I'm flying back to Pennsylvania, and a lot of the flights in Atlanta have been getting canceled, like just like a bunch. So why do you think like why do you think they're getting canceled? Because like they have no pilots, or like they fired a bunch of pilots.
Well,
Fired them a bunch.
Well, one thing that happened was during the pandemic, a lot of pilots retired for a couple of reasons, or they quit. But a lot of them retired because they were given incentives by the airline industry to retire because they had to cut payroll because of all things that were going on. But a lot of pilots left because of the mandatory vaccines and things of that nature. Also, there's strikes going on because of the lack of pay, and people might just say, you know what, I'm being overworked because lack of staff, people that retired, people that just left, people that got fired because they didn't want to get the vax. So now I'm being overworked. So now I'm gonna leave too. It's the same thing that's kind of impacting America as a whole. The lack of staff. It did not miss the airline industry.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. All right.
All right, now.
Have a good day.
Same to you.
All right. Bye. Happy 4th of July.
Same
Goodbye.
to y'all. All right. So yeah, that whole thing is crazy with the airlines. Yeah, I mean, this is part of the reason why even before the scamdemic, I always fly from Hartsfield Jackson. Like, I live in Chattanooga. I could fly from here, but it's kind of pointless because all they're going to do is send you to, like, if you're going to go really anywhere, they're going to send you to Charlotte and then to your destination or to Atlanta. Like, I've literally been on a plane in Chattanooga where they put me on this little baby plane and flew me to Atlanta. Like, Atlanta is 90 minutes. I can be in ATL in 90 minutes driving. They put me on the plane to go to Atlanta. Why? I can drive there in 90 minutes. Literally an hour and a half. One podcast, and I'm there. Matter of fact, I can do a round trip on my podcast if I listen to it back. 3 hours, 90 minutes, 3 hours, round trip, one podcast. Why get on the plane? And the problem with that is, once you have a connecting flight, you have a higher chance of a delay or you missing your flight. So let's say, for example, my first flight from Chat is delayed. Now I'm going to be rushing when I get to ATL to get to my next flight. So I'd rather just go straight to ATL and get a direct. Because the worst thing that happened is you have a connecting get stranded. That was the case one time. I was in the airport with Bob Corker back in the day. And probably about 2-3 years ago, not back in the day. But I was in the airport with Bob Corker. He was stranded too because we had left DC and went to Charlotte. And we're trying to get a Charlotte to Chattanooga flight. But there was a delay because of the weather. And so we just in there sitting, waiting for the rain to stop, and then waiting to get on the plane. Took about 3 hours. They sitting in there passing out snacks and talking about do you want to stay in the hotel? No, I don't want to stay in the hotel, ma'am. I want to go back to the house. How about that? But again, direct flights, much easier. All right, let's get to the next one. 304. Uh-oh. I picked up 304, but it didn't work. I'm gonna get right back to 304. But yeah, that's the best way to go. Get you a direct flight. Don't even worry about trying to if you got a connecting flight, avoid that at all costs. I would pay a little bit more to avoid connecting. Now, I'm not gonna pay a whole lot more now. It's talking about like if a connecting is 400 and a direct is 800. Well, hey man, we gonna be connecting. That's what we're gonna do. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. 304 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Boy, I tell you, ABL, it's Jeff from West Virginia. That white devil Obama hung up on me. I blame it on him.
There you go.
Man, I like to call in jokes sometimes. I'm just going to kind of make this one short. I'm going to give you a little bit of reference here, and I'm going to kind of warn the viewers before I start talking about it. It's not real bad, but just kind of, if you got kids. But my two local tri-state affiliates I can give you. WOWK, Channel 13, is a CBS affiliate, and NBC is WSAZ Channel 3. Right over across the border in Kentucky, there was a guy who was being served a warrant for holding up some of his family members, and his family members weren't in the house when they went to get him. but he shot 7 cops. He killed 2 of them, and he killed one of their canines. And if y'all want to look that story up, and ABL, if you can give it a little more attention, yeah, maybe we can pray for these cops. I mean, maybe when you go back and hear my call on the Uvalde, Texas shooters, you'll understand, man, this area, cops go into it. What those guys did is unreal, and we can only pray that their kids, their mothers, and their wives don't want for anything reasonable. It's sad, but that's a reality here. I mean, like, these cops go in. There were no kids in there. This guy just boarded himself up, and they decided he was that big of a threat to the community. So, prayers out to those guys, and thanks to ABL, and good caller there, a couple there before me, that one young fella. So y'all have a good evening.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
All right, bye, bub.
Yeah, I saw that, the Kentucky situation. I put it on the screen right quick for you guys. Give me 1 second here. Let me go just do this over here as well. So here's the situation that happened over in Kentucky. So Kentucky man shoots 6 officers, killing 3. So I'm not sure if the 3 includes the K9, because they do include the K9 as an officer. But yeah, killed a K9, killed some officers and whatnot. So the person was Lance P. Stores. He barricaded himself inside the home in Allen, Kentucky. And so they said that the town is so small, it does not have its own police force. That's common in like rural areas. The town does not have its own police force. They have like county police. They'll come out there. That's kind of how that goes. Yeah, small town. It's crazy. And the police, they're going head on in it. They're going into things like this, or it could be a traffic stop. Sometimes they don't know what they're going to get on the other end of it. And I feel like it's unfair a lot of times to play Monday morning quarterback with a police shooting, especially when it's kind of murky and you can't really tell what's going on. Yeah, it's really unfair to play Monday morning quarterback like that. But yeah, prayers out to their families. Prayers out to those that are deceased, and prayers out to those who are just everybody. Anybody that was injured, anybody that was affected, prayers out. 929, you're in line. What speaker to?
Anthony, how are you?
It's all good. What's happening?
Yes. Do you know who started the Groomer community movement?
Say that one more time. Say the groomer community.
Yes.
No, who's
the guy who started the Groomer community movement? His name is Harry Haight. I guess who he was. He was a pedophile communist. I mean, before he started the Fat God movement, right? He was a member of the American Communist, and then he started the Groomer community and got his support from his community. From his communist group, but then because he got support from his communist group, it is too dangerous for him. That is why he created the communist organization. And also, not only that, do you know the pedophile group called the Men for Love? Do you know that group? And also their pedophile symbol is like a light that shape a triangle. That shape a triangle shape. And even the FBI say it is a symbol of the pedophile. Do you know that symbol?
Yeah, I've seen that symbol.
Yes. So he is the founder of the Man Boy Love group, the pedophile. He is the founder of that pedophile group.
So tell me his name again, one more time.
Harry Hay, the founder of the Groomer community. Harry Hay.
I'm like
also a communist.
He's a communist?
Yes, a communist too.
Okay.
And also, he is not only the only one, but also the leader of the Gummer community that start in the UK and Australia. Both of them are the member of the communist group too. The guide. So one guy who is the leader of the Gummer community movement. The guy in the UK back then, he got money from the Soviet Union. So the Soviet Union, they give their money to the Gummer community in the UK to spread the Gummer movement and also communist at the same time. And also the leader of the Gummer community movement in the Australia, he is also a communist, and he is the member of what I call it? Oh yes, the member of the Mao's and Lenin's communist Marxists.
Okay.
Yes, this is the problem. And talk about heavyweight.
You said what now?
Yes.
Huh?
If you look at the book named give them the rainbow, give them the rainbow after chapter 13, right? So it lists all the build, the gay right build from the 1971 to 1998, and in those gay right build, it demand lower the age gap, and also it demand the hospital cannot criticize it, and it demands any research that danger to the gay community cannot be answered. And not only that, it demands mass immigration too, and it has a lot of bad stuff in it too. And this is the reason why. And this is the reason why we will have like trap grid, and also we have like the math community, the minor exception person community.
Right.
Well, the reason all of that because we let the fat god able to get the marriage certificate.
Right. I'm with you. Well, thank you for your call. I appreciate you.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go, Brandon, and the shot must flow.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All righty. Shout out to my man for the call. But the number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. 971, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the line.
Oh, my gosh. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry about that. My son was screaming.
Okay.
But yeah, just wanted to call ABL. Love your show. I called last time a while back, but what was he saying? Was he talking about like what was it, like NAMBLA or something? Is that what the other dude was trying to say? Yeah, yeah, about that. I think like there's a lot of like things that need to be revisited because what's it called? I honestly think that the conspiracy theory community has been just misunderstood for a very long time, especially with Epstein and everything that's been happening and the Great Reset and all that stuff. I don't want to get too specific into that. I'm not trying to get you like kicked off your like YouTube and stuff, but I think there's just a lot of things that people need to like look into more and just kind of be more aware of. It's kind of basically just all I wanted to say on here. But I love your show. Love you, dude. You're awesome. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Awesome. Bye.
All right, a shout out to the caller. 443 to the line. Who am I speaking to?
Anthony, what's up, brother? It's Anthony myself.
All righty, man. What's happening?
I was just wondering, man, what do you think about that liberal new world order?
Hey, I don't know what they're talking about, but I don't want any parts of it. You know, that's something they got to work out, but I don't want to pay double the price at the pump. I don't want to get involved in any kind of foreign wars. I don't want to have any kind of stuff like that going on. Whatever they have, whatever they're trying to implement, they can do that over there.
It's their new lingo now, ain't it?
Yeah, it's like a new word every single day I got to learn.
I know. All right, man. I love your show, man. Appreciate you answering the call, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Keep up the good work, brother.
Will do. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. Maryland out.
All righty. But yeah, I mean, they can do that over there. Don't do that here. Just go over there with that. I don't want nothing to do with it. Wait, what is it? Liberal world order? What's that got to do with me? Why I got to pay $150 at the pump almost? Why? Nah, but for real talk, like I looked at the pump, like I went down to about almost 40 miles to E, and it was $125 to fill up my tank. Now I got a big truck, obviously, but before all this Ukraine and Biden and trying to restrict fuel, I was paying $65, $70 at the most for that same tank. It's crazy. 323, you don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is David. What's up, ABL?
Everything's all good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Appreciate everything you do, first off. Kind of off topic, but just wanted to get your opinion about Fauci. He got sick recently, and then he took some pill that Pfizer makes, and then he got even sicker. Have you heard about that?
I did not hear about him taking the pills and getting sicker. I heard about him getting sick, but I didn't hear about the last part.
So there's a bunch of people taking this, I don't know what it's called, but Pfizer makes this pill, and all kinds of people are taking it, and they're getting sick after they take it. So instead of it like going down, your antibodies should go down after you take stuff to prevent it and to help it. But in this case, some people it's going up.
Yeah, you know what? I mean,
but these are people who took the jab, I think. I'm not sure about other people who are taking that pill who have not had the jab.
I mean, it's predictable, ain't it? Because what's the reason? Like the main reason people don't want to get the jab is because it just came out. It's just brand new. I don't want that in my body. It obviously there could be some adverse side effects that I don't want to experience. So if Fauci took the pills and now he's having adverse side effects, it's like, well, we tried to warn you, but you just didn't listen.
You know what else I'm tripping on is not too many people are talking about the animals that get tested on to create these jabs and stuff. A lot of us have cats, dogs, ferrets, lizards at home. We all love our animals, but we neglect to think about the animals that get tortured to make these things possible. Have you talked about it on your show?
Well, I've not really mentioned that, but that's one of those things that kind of gets swept under the rug. People don't want to talk about the animal trials, and it's pretty gruesome what they go through. And a lot of the animal rights people that are really aligned with the left are very quiet on that. They don't say anything about it. It's like they only pull that card out when, you know, like people like Peter, they pull their cards out when it benefits them politically for a greater purpose, for money and things of that nature, but not when it comes down to what they should believe in. If you believe in animal rights, okay, believe in animal rights, not just when it benefits you politically and financially.
Yeah, I thought for sure Fauci was going to get like pooped on when everybody found out about the beagle experiments. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I covered that when it happened.
Pictures online.
Yeah, I covered that
gross, man. And I thought, sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
Nah, see, I covered that when it happened. I was right on it, and it's like, okay, we're not gonna talk. We're gonna talk about this, the beagle experiments. That was pretty bad.
Yeah, I think that's a good. For me, I have a dog at home, and when I saw those dogs with the screen over their face and the flies inside of the screen, it kind of clicked hard in my head. I was like, wow, dude, at these laboratories, it's probably like this. It's probably way worse. They're probably trying to learn things that'll benefit the pharmaceutical companies financially, and torturing these poor animals under, enclosed. Nobody's seeing what's happening there. I get sometimes like something's worth the sacrifice. Like, for example, my mom had cancer, and we took advantage of some of the modern day technology. I acknowledge that. But what I would like to happen instead is maybe those rabbits that were sacrificed, those humanized rats that were sacrificed, maybe we can like remember them. When I say my mom's alive today because of Western medicine, I would rather give credit to those that actually sacrifice their lives to make it possible. Even though it's, lab rat number 1, lab rat number 2. Let's start putting names on these guys. Let's start showing some gratitude and grace. I know I sound like a crazy animal person, but man, when I see my dog, I just can't imagine somebody hurting a poor animal to like gain information.
No, man, I'm right there with you, man, 100%. I understand.
Yeah, I got a little easy on that. But again, appreciate everything you do. I'll let you get to your next call. Have a great day. And fourth, too.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate
Let's go,
you.
Brandon.
There you go.
All right, take care. God bless. Bye.
All right, shout out to my man for the call. Yeah, it's a good call. The animal rights group, they're suspiciously silent. I've not heard from them at all. They're quiet as a church mouse. They're not saying too much of anything. But then when anything else, when it's politically advantageous, they'll scream and shout. If Trump was to go out on the red carpet with a fur coat on, they talk about that. But then when you get Dr. Fauci torturing dogs, there's no problem. It's just like whatever. Okay, we see what the real deal is here. 3, 2, 1. You don't allow my speaker to. 3, 2, 1. Hello.
Hey, Anthony, can you hear me?
You're real loud background.
Yeah. Let me. Okay, this is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, this is Million. I don't know if you remember, we met in Tampa last time when you were with Candace Owens for the Brexit. Remember?
Yeah, I remember. I do remember, actually.
You were sitting right behind me. Yeah. Yeah. So good. How you doing, man?
It's all good, man. Can't complain.
Good. So I was going to ask you one thing really quick. I was listening the other day, and I heard about this guy by the name John Stryker, and he had this foundation. He is big on funding all this with what's going on right now with gender, multi-gender, and all that stuff. And I heard, I don't know if you know this, if you don't, if you can do a little research about this guy. I heard he is behind all this stuff. He's funding, he's multimillionaire. And he has a company that's what I heard. I'm not sure about this whole thing. But I heard he has a company that's in healthcare, in medical stuff, and directly his company works with all this surgeries and all that stuff, and he makes money off of that. Have you ever heard about that? His name is John Stryker.
No, I've not heard about that, but that sounds interesting. Like I need to do some more research on it. Yeah.
Very, yes. If you just Google his name, I just forgot his company's name. He has a Kucha Foundation or something. There's a big company that he owns. So he is big, like in all this LGBT and all that stuff. He is funding behind all these projects and stuff. He is making a lot of funding. So if you can do a little research and if you can find out something and if you can do some video, that would be very interesting.
Oh, right on, man, for sure.
Yes. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for taking my call.
No problem, man. Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, man. Like, there's a lot of money being made. There's a lot of money being made out in these streets. A whole lot of money being made. 773, you don't know how much speaker to.
Hey, Bill. First off, happy MAGA month. or in our case, Ultra Magna.
There you go. Same to you.
Yeah. Anyway, ABL, I want to ask you a very direct question pertaining with the black community continuing to vote Democrat and blindly because of the media. Do you really think that the black community in these last few years is pretty much done with, considering they keep voting for their own demise, given the fact that
the way I see it is this. The way I see the community is like this. You're going to have some of us that leave and some of us that stay. And I think what's happening now is that people are not afraid to leave, because at one point it was like a stigma behind leaving. If you left the quote unquote black community, quote unquote, behind, like there's all kind of names you get called, which I won't repeat right here. But now that's no longer.
Yeah, I get called them all the time.
Yeah, that's not the case anymore. People they're traveling, they're moving around different countries, not even necessarily the United States. So either you're going to leave that stuff behind or you're not. And those that don't leave it behind, they're going to be left. And those of us that have left it behind, we're going to be okay.
Okay. Well, in my particular state and city, I pretty much see an ongoing pattern of certain people who vote Democrat non-stop blindly with no questions asked, because that's all that they're presented with. And I'm starting to think that the media targets one particular demographic of low information voters to convince them to kind of vote for this party back to back. I mean, look at the View for sake, and who their target audience is all the time, and how emotional they become when confronted by a very serious question.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Because don't you kind of agree that the media seems to be targeting one demographic of people specifically?
Well, yeah, I mean, they target different people for different things, but the media will often cater to the lowest common denominator. They're catering really mostly to just uneducated people, or people that are just low. I won't say uneducated, because they also cater to a lot of these highly educated liberals, people that are uninformed or misinformed about certain things. You see, a lot of people just don't know what's going on. So whatever you tell them, they'll believe if you are the mainstream media. And then there are those who want confirmation. The far left liberals that are very highly educated, they want confirmation from a CNN and an MSNBC that whatever they were taught in K through 12 in college and post grad, all of that, like that it was legitimate. So they just tell them lies to keep them satisfied.
Yeah, basically placating ignorance, as Thomas Sowell has explained numerous times in his videos, if you look them up, about how our educational system is creating artificial stupidity.
Yeah.
I will say this to wrap up, is that if you read this article from the Gateway Pundit, this 100 World War II veteran is pretty much very disappointed at the state of the country is currently, because this is not the country he grew up with or fought for to begin with. And I wholeheartedly agree with him, because what we see from the far left and the slow erosion of our constitutional rights over the last 3 years is not the type of United States or what our founding fathers envisioned us to become.
Yeah, I'm with you right there, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway, ABL, have you decided to get to Truth Social?
I've not got on it yet. I'm not sure how to go about it, but honestly, I probably won't use it too much.
There's a way to get to it on your computer.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't got to it yet myself, because I'm kind of asking around people to see how good it is and how to download it, because first you couldn't access it unless you got to download it onto your phone. But I found out that there's a way of getting it done on your own laptop.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Okay, well, anyway, ABL, have a good 4th of July, and pretty much understand this type of 4th of July is not really much in a good way to be celebrating, considering we've been in 3 years of lockdown, so it's not really much freedom.
We're still America at the end of the day, and I don't want to be anywhere else. So thank you for your call, man. I appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, man, we're still the USA. We got some issues, of course. You know, it's imperfections going on, but it's still the USA. I ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. All right, let's go. 334, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 334, hello. Going once.
Hey there, I'm here.
All righty, what's happening?
I just wanted to continue on a little bit with the discussion about like the black community that the previous caller had. I'm a young black man from Southeast Alabama, from Dothan specifically, and about a year ago I moved up here to Chicago. Probably the worst mistake I've ever made in my life, but I moved up here. And one of the things that I've noticed the most is the lack of a difference between the black community and the incredible difference between the white folks who I meet. So, like, in my area, the white folks around me, they were always extremely helpful, extremely nice, extremely caring. In my hometown, it was all about community working together because we were all broke we were all broke, we were all extremely poor, and we just sort of had to struggle to do everything we could. And then when I would go into the city and I would go to school and I would be around a lot of African Americans and a lot of black people, I would get nearly the exact opposite. And I don't know if that's because of my skin tone, because I'm a lighter black person. I remember specifically a time in middle school where I was assaulted for my skin color by a black person. I was hit over the back of the head with a brick.
Wow.
And the reason that she had for it was she said, "Oh, he must think he's better than me because he's light skinned."
Yeah. I know that light skin, dark skin battle. Yeah.
Yeah, but I see a lot of that same attitude, that same, I guess the best word to call it is ignorance. Not ignorance, but being ignorant. Acting as if you don't know better when you absolutely do.
Right.
I see that mirror that is so surprising to me, both in the North and the South, 1,000 miles apart from each other.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to, because I don't know if you've lived in any other states or any other places. If I want to know if you've seen this same phenomenon that I have, or if you have other experiences or anything.
So the phenomenon, like you talking about, like the infighting in the black community, is that what you're referring to?
Not necessarily that, yes, but also the fact that you could go anywhere in this country and see the same culture appear for black people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I see that. Like, I'm from Virginia, and you saw it there. Different states is different, but there's commonalities to it as well. Like, for example, in West Virginia, there is a black community. Although it's a majority white state, there's a black community. But in West Virginia, it's not quite the same as it is like in a bigger city. It's like real country, real rural. So it's just not, you know, if you go to New York City, the culture is much different than you would have, like, let's say in Virginia. So back when I was in VA and in school, you would have infighting in the black community or among black people, whatever you want to say. You had light skin and dark skin at a certain point. That came about when I was like in high school, because when I was a kid, nobody was light skinned. Everybody was dark skinned. That was just a thing. You didn't even see, you would never even see a white person or light skinned person. Everybody was like me. But anyway, so and as a kid, you had people that had a little bit of money versus those that had no money. You had New York versus Virginia. That's kind of, then they became light skin, dark skin, New York, Virginia, jock, nerd. It became all of that little stuff like that. But as far as the cultural things, you see a lot of similarities regardless of where you are in the United States. You do. But you don't necessarily see that same kind of culture overseas. You see a lot of like failure, but you don't see that negative culture necessarily. Like you don't like you won't go to Africa necessarily and see people behaving like Americans unless they're trying to be like an American. You got some that are trying to copy us.
Yeah, no way.
But they're not typically. You don't see some kid in the village acting like a black American. That's just not what you see.
Yeah, I actually have some experience with that. My wife is a Filipino immigrant, and they have a lot of American influence. So they do have sections of the culture that try and act American. They call them bugay, I think.
Okay, yeah.
That might be food. I'll ask her some other date. But yeah, I do genuinely feel like the state of Black America right now does hail a lot from the sense of entitlement that we get from being American.
Yeah.
And that's why there's so much similarity. Even though they are different cultures, like the slang is completely different from my hometown versus up here, but you can see the same hookup culture, you can see the same entitlement that single mothers have, all that kind of stuff within the Black community everywhere you go.
Yeah, you do see some of that. But like I was telling somebody earlier, and they were asking me, is Black community done? And it was like, well, you have to leave the sense of community. You have to leave that behind. And a lot of us are leaving it. Like a lot of guys I know, we're just leaving. Yeah. We're going to different countries, different parts of the country where you don't have this hive mind mentality. You can kind of do your own thing. We're just leaving. And those of us that leave will be fine. We'll be able to escape that kind of stuff because I have family I have family that are still kind of caught up in that culture, but also I have family that's not in that culture. They live a whole different life, and they're not even with all that stuff. You know, they don't really know that culture. But if you're still going to be immersed in it, you're just going to be there, and you're pretty much toast.
Oh yeah, man, Black folks ain't near close to done because so many people are just realizing that this stuff ain't worth it.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, man. Well, y'all have a good night. I really enjoy your show. Y'all have a wonderful time.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Yeah, man. Like I was saying, if you still in the community, you want to be part of that, and that's what you want to do, it's over with. Just go ahead and lay down and give up, man. Just go ahead and go to the penitentiary and check in. Be like, yo, I'm just going to go check in right now. This is where I'm going to be. 416 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Yes, 416.
Hello, Anthony Brian Logan. How the devil are you?
Everything's all right. How about yourself?
Can't complain, mate. Happy Canada Day. We had our Canada Day yesterday, and I know you guys are having your 4th of July celebrations in a couple of days, so congratulations on your independence. 1775, I think it was, wasn't it?
6.
Oh, 1776. Forgive me, I got the wrong year. But apparently, I have a British accent, so apparently I was part of those fellas, you know what I mean?
Right.
Anyway, I phoned you for a reason, and I was listening to you earlier, and I thought I would talk about the difference between Maxine, what's her name, that just got 20 years for, what do you call it?
Ghislaine
child
Maxwell.
Molestation. And,
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah. So, first of all, I would suggest to you it's really, really criminal that they hide all the stuff in a court of law where you can't have cameras. Nobody can get in there and find out who were the players. Because, I mean, now the guy had offed himself. Apparently this girl was like his second in charge, right?
Yeah, like she was the madam, basically.
Yeah, like the handler, right?
Right.
Yeah. So she's handling all these children on this island that apparently now is abandoned, by the way, since he died, isn't it? Abandoned since he died. Did you know that?
Now, what happened now? Who got abandoned? I didn't quite catch that.
Well, Epstein. You know, the fellow who didn't kill himself?
Yeah.
Yeah. He has an island. and now it's totally abandoned.
Oh yeah,
did you know that?
Yeah, I mean, because who can go there? Who's going to go? Who's going to go there? I mean, if you go to Epstein Island, you're going to get arrested immediately.
Well, it's in the Virgin Islands, but now, I mean, he bought the island, and now it's completely abandoned because nobody will go there anyway. But here's the point. So she got, what, 20 years, right?
20 years, that's right.
Yeah, for handling all those really high-profile, nudge, wink, wink, say no more people, you know, including Prince Andrew, which is, you know, like we already saw his interview where he doesn't sweat, apparently. Right. And then I'm comparing it to this other fella. So you got this black fella in America that was doing the same kind of thing, more or less. What was his name now? R. Kelly, the musician fella.
R. Kelly.
R. Kelly, yeah, R. Kelly. Right. So how many years did he get?
He got 30.
30. Well, isn't that fucking equality in America for? Excuse my French. Isn't that equality in America for you?
Hey, you know.
So some black male guy gets 30 years, and some handler for a major like international porn ring gets 20 years. Like, how is that equal? How is that equality?
Hey, you know, people just it is what it is. It's one of those things.
Yeah, no, but how can you balance that out? I mean, how can you say that you know he gets 10 more years because of what? Because he was a male? Because he was black?
Well,
like
no.
What?
Well, the reason why he got 10 more years is because he was like Epstein. Ghislaine Maxwell was a handler. R. Kelly was the guy that was actually like.
Oh, no, hang on a minute. I spoke to my wife about this. So you don't think for 1 minute that woman was in there like a dirty shirt with all these other lesbos, shagging blokes and stuff like that? Are
Well,
you kidding me?
I don't know about all of that, but all I do know, all I do know is that.
Seriously.
But wait a minute.
Talk about that stuff.
But R. Kelly was Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein wrapped into one, and also, if we're going to bring race into it, Bill Cosby is not in jail at all, and Bill Cosby was the worst out of everybody.
Well, he was, and I mean, he's famous, right?
It's you know, it gets political.
I don't know. It's the same thing, isn't it? I mean, you know,
it gets very political.
Women. I mean, R. Kelly was chatting them up, and I don't know, was he imprisoning them or something?
You said I didn't catch that. What you say?
Did he have them imprisoned? Was he imprisoning them?
Well, I mean,
women?
that was a point they were talking about. Some girls said they couldn't leave. That's a whole different thing there. I don't know all the ins and outs of that, but that was an accusation. I don't know if that got found out to be true or false.
But you can't believe that some girl flew to Epstein's Island and then couldn't get away for a week or two because they were being, you know, like abused. Look, all I'm trying to say to you is I don't think it was fair. The guy gets 30 years and she gets 20 years. As far as I'm concerned, both of them were
but they are different. They're not the same. I don't think that the charges that she had are the same as his, and also it's different. And also, let's not forget about this one. And also, the thing about Ghislaine Maxwell, like I said, she was a handler. Epstein, the proper comparison would be to Epstein himself, the big fish, not one of the people that were on the bottom. Like, there were other people that helped R. Kelly that we don't know about that could go to jail too. The proper comparison would be to Epstein and see what he got. But since he's dead, we can't make that comparison.
Well, I think that's very conveniently he's dead, isn't it?
That's right.
Anyway, I love your show. I'm going to leave it there. I just don't think that's actually fair. You know, I don't think that's equality. It sounds like equality of outcome to me, or what you guys would call equity down there. Because one guy got something different than a woman, and they were both up to their eyeballs in nasty stuff. That's all I can say.
All right. Thank you for your call. I appreciate it.
All right. God bless you, mate. Good show.
All right now.
Anthony, I'll talk to you later.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to compare apples to apples. You comparing the handler to the guy that's like the big fish. R. Kelly, that's a whole different story. R. Kelly was Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein wrapped into one. And, you know, people talking about the race card. Well, why is Bill Cosby free? Huh? Bill Cosby was drugging and raping women since the 1970s. Since the 70s. And it's not and did like 1 year in jail and that was it. So R. Kelly, I mean, last time I checked, Bill Cosby was black. Huh? And then you got different states, different charges, different lawyers, everything is different. You can't compare that to that. And if you're gonna talk about race, let's not ignore Bill Cosby. You're gonna ignore him. He didn't get any he got 1 year and then they got overturned. There was a recent call. I mean, there was a recent charge where you just got to fine $1,000 and it wasn't even no jail time. And rumors have been swirling about Bill Cosby since the 80s at least. When I was a little boy, I remember hearing about Bill Cosby doing some stuff. But yeah, that'll be a wrap for today's show. I'm over time actually. Thank you all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. I cannot do it without you. But I'll be back live again on Wednesday, of course. And I'm here every day, pretty much doing my pre-recorded. Whenever I got topics, I can do it. So, oh yeah, and OJ, OJ, right? Forgot about OJ Simpson. I mean, come on, the whole race thing is so stupid. Like, let's just get past it. You know, I kind of get irritated when I hear that. But thank you all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. I'll be back live again on Wednesday. Pre-recorded every day for the most part. If I got topics, you can send me topics on my email. Contact at anthonyblogan.com. Also, go to the website, anthonyblogan.com. Go to all my sponsors and links and everything. And, of course, this is a podcast. You can hear it audio only on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Spotify, Google Play, Apple iTunes, Anchor, etc. Link for that will be in the description. If you're listening on a favorite audio streaming platform, please give me a 5-star rating or review, whatever you can. I most certainly would appreciate it. We got super chats on deck. I'm going to read those right quick, and then I wrap it on up, put the bowl clean on top. Okay. Let's go to Liam Mazina say Happy Independence Day. Thank you for that. I think I already read these here. Thank you to Dieter Andrew, who says, all makes perfect sense. Joe caught elite capture. Thank you to Bob K. MIT, who says, half a tank of gas for you. Keep it up, sir. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. Thank you to Eunice, who says, Happy Independence Day. We're watching and sharing to people who want the real news. We love and appreciate you putting your neck on the guillotine for us. Please say happy belated birthday and shout out to Noah, my son, and me too. Happy birthday, Noah. You know, hopefully you are able to enjoy your weekend. And hopefully you enjoy your day as well. So, man, yeah, definitely happy birthday to you. Shout out to you, man. And enjoy your birthday weekend. Independence Day as well. Hey, man, it's perfect. Thank you to Jordan84, who says, ABL, any family very patriotic? Not necessarily. I mean, I guess, but not overtly patriotic. I guess we're patriotic in our own way. I'm probably the most America type guy that is in the family, but maybe I'm not. I don't know. But that'll be a wrap for me. Thank you all for being here. Couldn't do the show without you. Yeah, are they putting ads in the video? I'm gonna cut that out. I don't know what's going on with that. It's like stuff that's kind of flashing up here. I'll fix that. Don't worry about that. But thank you all for being here. I'll be back again next time. And until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.